Hello, and welcome to the first Saturday edition of the Sport. Maybe not the first Saturday, but one of the rare Saturday editions of the SportsRunDown Betalong. How are you getting on, Gary?
Yeah, good. Very good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Anyone who's tuning in or joins us later in the show will realise it's a slightly different look than normal. We're down a couple of bodies, so as you can see on the screen there, it's Dubai World Cup today, so that was kind of why we're doing it. Obviously, the international football has changed the schedule a bit, so a slight change of focus today. So maybe, Gary, you just want to quickly run people through that ACA there. I know it's a kind of a negative sort of after-time, and as we're out of the running already. But...
So, unfortunately, it's just been knocked there in the half-one race. So, yeah, put the kind of the four fancies that I had in an ACA. Subjectivist won well earlier on in the Gold Cup, the Boy Gold Cup. Ended up breaking the track record, won by about probably 6 lengths. And had drifted from around 3-1 when I backed him on Thursday out to about, I think it was 13-2 was the SP. So it was a nice juicy kick to the ACA. But I said just before we came on air, Space Blues got turned over at even money in the sprint. So still fancy Al Shahale and Moga later on. I obviously backed these in singles as well. So up for the day, but it would have been nice to keep the ball rolling with that winner, like, you know, that way, or with Space Blues, especially because the lowest odds or whatever, you know, you kind of banking on it to come in. But yeah, disappointing start. Well, I suppose a good start with Subjective was disappointing start to the stream that were you know, that's been knocked. But so I'm going to have singles later on today as well in those later races. And we'll obviously be tracking the progress there. Have you picked anything out yourself, Obi?
No, I was going to follow you on that fourfold, and then I missed the first winner. And like you said, it went off at 6s, so I would have been absolutely gutted. But then the second leg fell. Probably from a viewership point of view, it's probably a good thing. We'd be coming on with 2 legs up at combined fairly high odds if that had won. So we don't want to be risking that. But no, nothing myself in the racing yet. I've had a quick look, but I haven't put any bets on. I'll be putting them on throughout the show. SerieA kicks off in about half an hour. There's always good price goals in there, so I'll probably put a little combination. I think there's 4 games kicking off. I'll put a combination on from there. I'll update you closer to the time. And then it'll just be that in the race. I think the English Football League kicking off at 3 o'clock. I'll undoubtedly have a few in that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's goals about there, so I'm definitely going to have a few for both teams to score, ACAs and maybe some over 2.5s as well. But yeah, plenty on to keep us entertained anyway.
Yeah. What's your next race? I know obviously the next one up in the ACA, but have you got anything else anywhere else you're looking at? Any other racing?
Yeah, well, so the Lincoln is the big race later on. So, like, I don't know whether people who are watching in are familiar with the Lincoln, but essentially it's on the straight the straight mile of Doncaster, and you're going to have, I think there's 24 in the race. You're going to have 24 runners. There's a cavalry charge down, and now the favourite looks fairly solid for John Gosden. He's a 7-pound claimer, Benoit Lassayette on board, and he's going to be hard to beat. But he's about 7-2, and I couldn't back a 7-2 shot in a race like this. So I'm going to back one. I haven't had a bet in the race yet, but I'm going to back one of the David O'Mara horses at big prices. So there's Orban at about 33-1. And then the other runner is Hortazar, and I saw him earlier on at like 80-1, and it's top 5 places. So they're the two that I've kind of picked out a bigger.
Orban's actually out to 40s now. If you're going to, you're tempted still there.
Yeah, I'm going to back one of them. I won't back both of them, but I'm going to back one of those each way. And then I like the one at kind of the bottom of the market that I like is Dania. It's around 7-1. So I'll probably have my main bet on Dania at 7-1 in the Sheikh Hamdan colours. And obviously Sheikh Hamdan died this week, so it'll be kind of a nice send off or poignant winner, like, you know. So, but I think he has the form really to back it up, and his form links in with the Horzand horse. So I think, yeah, as I said, he has a good chance, Danya. So my main bet will be on him. But then, as I said, horses at 80-1, things like this in this race, especially with 5 or 6 places being played. I'm going to have a bet off one of those outsiders for David Marta.
I'm going to check the exchange on those two actually now, because sometimes the ones that are sort of outside 50s or 60s, you can sometimes get huge prices on the exchange for them.
Yeah, now I'd be asking a lot for him to win. So I'd be delighted with the place with one of them, but it's just in those races, like John said, you need a bit of luck. You need to be on the right side of the draw. There's a lot of stuff that comes into winning the race, as opposed to just you being the best horse in the race.
Yeah.
As I say, the favourite is fairly solid, the Gosden horse. But as I said, you couldn't be backing a horse at 7-2 in an open race like that. So those. And then one of my old favourites, Summergand, is running later on in the card. I think it's the 345. Yeah, 345. So Summergand. So he's 130 at the minute. Had a nice prep run there last time out on the all weather, and he always runs a good race. So I'll probably have a small bet off him. It's a tough enough race he's running in today, so he needs to be at his best to win it. But as I said, he's really kind of he's a horse that you can bank on to always turn up, that way. So they're the horses I'll be looking forward to later. And then obviously across MEYDAN, there's the Al Sahel and Mogul as well, which we'd be cheering on.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to watching those races now. I might do a double of the two you've got in for the later ones in Dubai. It's and they're pretty nice prices to double up. So I think after the even money won't fall, or not winning, it's I always feel like you want to get a couple of them right anyway.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't put you off the double on them. It's mad, like, because the races aren't as strong as they probably should be for the prize money that's on offer. So the whole card at MEYDAN today, I think it's $26 million, is up for grabs and prize money. But while there's good horses running at it, there isn't like some of the top horses. I'm kind of surprised, that prize money on board. Obviously, it's early in our season, so that's probably why it just doesn't fit into the calendar for a lot of horses. But if I was an owner, I'd be going chasing some of the 26 million anyway.
Yeah. It seems I don't know. Sometimes when you're outside the loop, you have different views on all those things, but it can be a surprise, all right, to see it. Might be the same issue. I'd want a shot at that money as well. So.
Yeah, definitely. So like the next race will be off fairly soon, I would say. So just check.
There's one at Kempton about to go.
Have you had a bet on that?
No, I'm looking at it. Sometimes if you leave your prep a little bit late and then you're looking at an awful lot of races at the same time, you can feel yourself getting a bit too overheated, maybe is the phrase. I'm not sure about this one. Nothing is jumping out to me, so I might leave this one slide. What about you?
Yeah, I've done the forecast of Sky Defender and Global Giant. So Global Giant is like 8-15 favourite, and then Sky Defender is the he's 14-1, kind of third in the market. So I'm doing that. That's keep me interested in it. It's not a fantastic race like a 5-run race. It isn't. As I said, it isn't fantastic, but it'll get us a punt going anyway. So that's the main thing.
I'm not making any call.
There, so.
Not on this particular race, but there's been quite a few of those. I remember last summer when we were looking at a lot of these races, and there'll be quite a few of those 1 to 2, or say 1 to 2 to even money favourites don't go on to win. You'd be expected maybe. I'm obviously a lot newer to racing than you are, and you're looking at horses like that. You think it's a foregone conclusion, but it seems that you do get the odd upset in there. So you're just gonna bank on Global Joint and then hope to get the second half of the forecast in.
Yeah, basically. Like, I can't really see anything beaten. Like, the Gosden team are in really, really good form as well. So, like, if they were in bad form, or like sometimes at the start of the season, like they won't be in, have hit the ground running kind of. So you might take a shorty on like that, but he looks to have a nice profile, and yeah, he should win this. I would say.
Yeah, nice. Are you going to give us commentary on this one, or are you just going to let it run and we come back to the commentary later on?
No, I can talk through it. They're just down at the post now at the minute, so it's 12 seconds to post time. So yeah, we can walk you through it. Just it's probably going to be, I said, probably going to be a couple of minutes delayed here because they're waiting to load them into the gates, and it's up at a post time already. So there'll be a couple of minutes laid off.
We'll probably have to cut this conversation off quick enough, but did you look at any of the football later on, or are you just going to play it by ear? I can't really see past any goals bets myself. Nothing is jumping out on me.
Yeah, so I did think that, Forest Green are a big price. They haven't been in the greatest of form recently. But like, actually that game kicked off earlier on. They're losing 1-0, so I'm glad I didn't back those. And Cambridge as well. Cambridge stuck out to me as being a big price. So Cambridge are 11-5, but they're challenging at the top of the league. I think everybody kind of expects them to fall away. But they keep kind of grinding out these 1-0 victories. So 11-5, I think is big about them. So like, I don't know whether I'll back them in a single, but they'll definitely form part of my ACA. Now they are up against Carlisle. Like, it's my Cambridge are second in the league. Carlisle are 12th in the league, and they're 11-5 Cambridge. So it's kind of strange to see that. Normally you'd expect them to be closer to even money. I didn't get a chance to look at the injury news, but I didn't see anything flash up on Twitter or whatever about major news. So this race is off here now. So the good thing about Sky Defender in the having him in the forecast is that he's kind of a front runner, so he goes off from the front. He led to the first bend. He's just been taken on now by the second fave. They're probably still a mile to go, so still early stages in it. Like, we'll come back to that in a second. They need to go through. But on the football side, that was what I picked out. As I said, I'm going to do a few goals bets as well. I think a lot of those games stick out as having goals. So usually on a Saturday in the big card, I'll have like over 1.5 both teams to score and over 2.5 ACAs. So I'm gonna try and piece one of those together now. But I haven't placed the bet at the minute. The fave is looming large here now at the minute. He's looking like an 8 to 13 shot anyway.
Sometimes you can see it all right in them, can't you? Go, yeah, that makes perfect sense now, that price.
Yeah. Although he was going better when I said that than he is now. Still going the best in the race, but like, you wouldn't be counting your money too much yet. They're swinging in off the home bend here. He's pulled about 2 lengths clear at the minute. Sky Defender is staying on now. Probably won't get into the second. I don't think the favourite's going to win by a street. Sky Defender is just dying a little bit there. I'd say the forecast is actually going to pay a good bit because it wasn't the second fave that finished second, so it was one of those like 25 to 1 shots that were further down the betting. So
I had a look at the market, but when you were talking through it at the start, and I thought if I was going to pick one, but you couldn't really make a case for any of them Stormy Antarctic and whatever that last one was. But looks like they've come good anyway. Have you seen the Betfair now do like fixed odd forecasts? So you can just go in and pick them on the sports book.
Yeah, I think Bet365 probably started that.
Did they? I'm fairly new to Bet365 myself, so.
Like normally you get paid like the kind of total return or whatever. But I think Bet365 started it just kind of pricing them up, and now some of the others are starting to follow. So
maybe if you thought one of them was money would come for it later in the day, and you kind of wanted to lock it in, it's not a bad option. But then obviously you get the flip side of it, that if it's not that popular a horse, you might be leaving yourself a bit short.
Yeah, exactly.
Just back to the football for a moment. There's the SerieA all kicking off in 10 minutes. So there's 4 games kicking off in 2 o'clock our time, 3 o'clock local time. So over 2.5 in all 4 games. What would you guess it at? Any 4 football games. What would you put it at? And is it not a particularly dry league? All 4 of them together, 4-1.
Yeah.
45-1.
45, Jesus.
Yeah. Some of them are 7-4 for 2.5 goals, and it's not a particularly stingy league. I actually
thought it would be the opposite. I thought I'd be priced up by like 4-7 in those leagues, because I know like how often goals go in,
Yeah, so I'll just run a tenner on for the 4-fold. So it's the 4 SerieA games kicking off at 2 p.m. I'm just very surprised by that price. I mean, I think 11 children playing in the park should be able to score 2.5 goals over the course of 90 minutes. So I'll keep you updated on that one as they kick off.
I'm actually going to go in and try and get some of the action. So
yeah, I was tempted to maybe just do a more conservative over 1.5 as well. I'll need to double check those odds, but they must be still pretty generous if the 2.5 is that juicy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh well. Did you watch any of the rugby last night?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I kind of read about it this morning. It seemed exciting.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was really good at the start because it was kind of an open game. But then as the time drifted on, you knew France were never going to get 20 points ahead. So kind of Wales were sitting pretty at that point. But oh man, I support a few frustrating teams, but my God, if you were French, to support that rugby team must be a really tough thing to do, because they're so good, but they're so flaky. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, like they just, is it mental capacity or whatever? They seem to, I don't know what it is about them, but they seem to blow hot and cold so often,
Yeah. Oh, they're so flaky. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like they have the ability, but then they just make rash decisions. It's very strange. But anyway, I think the next race I'm going to look at now is 2 o'clock. The Doncaster 2 o'clock. Might leave off. Are you have anything at NAVAN you're looking at today, or just going to focus on the bigger meetings?
I've left the Irish racing, so the only racing that I've looked at is the flat. So both Doncaster and Doncaster and Meydan.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, there's so much on that it's hard to go through all of the races in kind of in a bit of depth, that way.
Yeah, completely.
So I'm surprised in the 2 o'clock at Doncaster that Space Traveller is such a big price, 7-1, which seems a big price about him. He's ran a couple of high level races, and he's kind of acquitted himself well. So I said I'm surprised he's that price.
And there's no outright favourite in that race, if I remember. So that it's not a.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like it's 7-2 the field.
7-4-1,
6-1, 6-1, and 2 7-1s, and then it goes double figures the rest. But yeah, I'm gonna back him each way. 7-1, you make a little bit of profit on the place. So that's Space Traveller.
Yeah,
a couple of my old favourites in there as well. I've backed Pete LeBon many times.
I'm thinking, I was looking at a few of those names. They look awfully familiar to last summer's action. So yeah.
Yeah, because the flat has started to get like that. It used to be, especially at the kind of higher end, the horses would retire after their 3-year-olds season. But now they're kind of more and more of them being kept in training. So
why did they retire at that age?
Well, just to go to stud, like, that way.
Just simple as that.
Yeah. So, like the 3-year-old is where all your kind of championship races are, like the Derby and the Guineas and things like that. So yeah, they used to retire them off like fairly early. Like they still do usually a Derby winner or whatever, especially if they win the Derby well, they'll go off the stud because they're able to knock out so many horses, or cover so many mares in a season. They're just like worth unbelievable money, and the risk you take of them being injured on the track or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, like but like kind of the lower tier then. So outside of the winner of the Derby or whatever, you're seeing a lot more of them being kept in training, which, as I said, is good from a punter's perspective, because you get to know the horses a lot more. That's the good thing about in the national hunt. The horses are going to be going from when they're 4 or 5 years of age to probably when they're 12. So you're getting a good 6, 7, 8 seasons out of the horses. You know them inside out. Whereas in the flat, sometimes the horses just coming and going, so it's hard to keep track.
Yeah, and why do they not get him down to action as early on the jumping horses? Like, why is it such a different sort of setup?
Well, the jump, the national hunt horses wouldn't they're not that they're not good horses, but they wouldn't be really there for breeding.
Right.
A lot of them are 99% of the horses over national hunts or hurdles or fences, they'll get gelded, so they'll never be able to or whatever. So yeah, it's just that quality of, as I said, they're good horses, but usually the horses on the flat will produce those better progeny or whatever. Like Yates was a flat horse that won I think it was 5 Gold Cups he won, and he breeds horses, or he kind of is used for breeding national hunt horses, whereas he was a flat horse, that way. So
yeah,
you very rarely get a national hunt horse in the same caliber. Did you pull the trigger on anything at Doncaster?
No, but I think I'm about to. I was actually looking at the 1.5s in the football before the kick off, but I think I'll jump in here now. Space Traveler's coming in a little bit. He's tightening up.
Yeah, Quasar was a big price as well. I think Quasar is 20-1, which is a big price. Now, obviously, you need everything to fall right for him, but he wouldn't be the worst outside bet in the world. Let us know who you go for anyway, so we can
even just to cheer on. Yeah. Did you get any of the football ones on? 2 o'clock.
No, I was watching that race, so I'm gonna. Actually, sorry, I did. I did the SerieA bet. So because there's actually 3 divisions of the SerieA on.
Yeah.
So I have Como, Pontedera, Lecco, and Pistolese, Gubbio and Metallica, and Imolese and Perugia. They're 4 games I went over 2.5. It's mad to see Perugia down that low.
Yeah, I've got 3 the same as you.
SerieA not so long ago, weren't they?
Yeah, well, no, the SerieB certainly. When we were covering the SerieB last season, we had a bit of Perugia.
Yeah, but 10 years ago, Perugia.
Oh yeah, that kind of recent. Yeah, they did. It's crazy. The SerieA is some, or the SerieA structure is some structure for teams going up and down. Even a couple of ones that are up at the top now, like Span and them, they were unheard of not too long ago. One at a time here on this race.
The last day with the way he came out from the stalls.
So just down at the post there for 2 o'clock at Doncaster. So a few more minutes left, but be good now to get a nice run out of Space Traveller here.
I'm going to go with Juan Eclano, the Andrea Zeni horse. I'm doing each way. And it caught my eye earlier, and I was kind of suspecting it might drift a good bit, but now that it hasn't, I was going to jump on there. To that each way as well. That can be our first head-to-head of the day.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like, there's going to be so many races today that we will have different horses in there because they're so open. As if the Lincoln, you could probably back 5 horses in it, like, because you just fancy something.
Yeah.
They all have, like, a lot of them have interest.
That's what I was saying earlier. When you're just looking at, and by the time you just look through all the cards, you probably recognize, what I mean? You've picked out probably 20 horses you've backed previously. You kind of just get a bit carried away. All right. Right. Yeah, I've gone each way on this one. So you can just talk us through this race again. I won't say anything about it in case there's a slight, my feed is slightly ahead of yours, or in case it is. Make sure the sound is off as well.
Yeah, there's just an add-on here now, so they should be back and ready to rock and roll in a minute or two's time. So I'm gonna do as I like to do this on a Saturday. It's a little bit of a mugs bet, but it gives you a great interest, especially if there's goals early of just over 1.5 goals in each game.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that in League 1 and League 2. John, maybe not all the games, but I'm going to pick out John.
It's a full schedule, isn't it? I think this race is off, by the way, Gary. I'm not sure if you're.
I'm probably a little bit behind because I'm streaming it, So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have it here.
Just
I'll leave you go, so I'll leave it.
Here. There's actually course and distance for the Lincoln later on. So you went for Juan Eclano, yeah?
Yeah.
Your problem.
I'm watching it in the last 2 furlongs here, so I'm going to shut up and mute myself.
Just get rid of your facial expressions as well. We seem to be going a slow enough pace anyway in the first couple of furlongs. A few of them are pulling for their heads. Space Traveller has settled well, so that's promising. You're going well there. Juan Eclano in second place there, just tracking the pace from Beat Le Bon. Just gone by the 5 furlong mark now, so starting to wind things up. Juan Eclano's gone really well for you. Say you're going to go close here, Liam. I'm traveling into it well too as well. It's probably 4 or 5 in with a shout. The fave's still there, Montematum. Go on, Space Traveller. What is that looming up on the outside? Top Rank looms up on the outside. Yeah, he's going to win. He's probably going to go 2 or 3 lengths clear, is he? Jeez, he won that hands and heels so easily.
Mm-hmm.
The race went over, and you can see he's going to win. Like, Jesus, that was
impressive.
Impressive from him. Yeah.
Oh man, I had about 5 seconds of thinking, actually, really could get a winner here, and then you see him coming up. You're like, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, he just loomed up there on the outside,
Yeah, I got a little bit of a sweat out of it anyway. I like those short, fast races there. Great for the entertainment. You mentioned the Derby earlier on as well. It's a shame that we're not gonna get that this year like last year.
Yeah, it is a real shame. They actually the Jockey Club emailed me the other day looking for the second portion of their money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it was in error. But I thought, like,
for anyone who's not familiar with this, we had an open top bus tour to the Epsom Derby the summer before last, whatever that would have been, 2019, I think. And we obviously planned to do it again last year, but you know, the pandemic and all that, it didn't happen. So Gaz would have made his down payment on our spot. But yeah, I presume it's very hard to imagine it happening this year as well, really.
yeah, because like they got in contact with me a while ago, basically just saying that they didn't know what was happening. So obviously, the government guidelines has come out to say that, like, things could be back to somewhat normal by then in the UK. So, like, I think they're planning on having some sort of fans there, but they can't have the proper, whatever they normally have there, the 50,000 or whatever, on the open top buses. But then I got excited when I saw it the other day come up on screen, that they, I saw the email come through. I was like, oh, well, if they're asking for the money, they must be letting some of the buses like go. I got excited, and then they emailed me later on that day, essentially just saying that
cool yourself.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, ignore it, we apologize, or whatever. I was like, oh, damn it, so
yeah, it's gonna be another quiet year, I'm afraid. Or I'm afraid it's going to be another quiet year. Yeah, I see we've got a couple of people watching on the different streams. So if you are watching, just let us know in the comments what you're backing today. You know, obviously a lot of racing on, so you're presumably going to have a couple of racing bets. But even if you're watching the football, just the SerieA or the League 1 or League 2 later on, just, you know, drop a comment in, tell us what you're backing. We'll probably follow you in anyway. We've a tendency to do that. Make sure to hit that like and follow button as well. You'll be doing us a big favor, especially if you enjoy the show. I think you were saying something, Gary, before I jumped in.
I was going to say that the 205 at MEYDAN is just about to go off there. So I haven't got anything in it, but have you got anything on it?
No, actually, I didn't have anything in this one.
He's got it back Panadol, so he'll obviously win now. But
you didn't back. You're not going to back him now either.
No, I don't think I'll have enough time to back him. But yeah, I'll hold fire for a couple of minutes.
Who were you thinking to back? Sorry,
Panadol.
Okay. Yeah,
and that's not just because I'm hungover.
You were at the Dubai World Cup before, weren't you, Gary?
Yeah, so I went over a couple of years ago, so it probably would have been 2017 or 18. 3 years ago. So 2018 I would have been over there. Yeah, it's great as to have the hat on here. If you've never been, I'd really just recommend it. Like the grandstand is amazing. The whole setup over there. Like the track is just, the way everything's just immaculate. Not a blade of grass out of place. Like everything about it, like warm weather. It's amazing. So when we went over, we went for the Dubai World Cup, and we did breakfast with the stars as well. So breakfast with the stars is kind of like, I think it's 2 days before. So it'll be on the Thursday, either the Wednesday or Thursday. You go out to the track really early in the morning. So it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. You go out there, and all the horses are working, and then there's a massive, like, all these like tables laid out, and they've all these like different cuisines from around the world. So it'd be like all different types of eggs and croissants and things like that. So you just basically sit there and have your breakfast, and you see all the horses do their last kind of piece of work and loosen out, and then all of the trainers and jockeys are there as well. So usually you'll have the likes of William Buick, who rides for Godolphin, and Charlie Appleby and Cy Vince Rohr. So they'll be there, and they give interviews and pose for pictures and sign autographs and all that kind of stuff. So I actually have a hat here, like there in the room here, but like it's the same hat that I have on here, but it's signed by William Buick. So I met him at Breakfast with the Stars. He was a nice guy. He's actually just had to win in this race as well. But yeah, no, as I said, if you're into racing, you don't. I suppose you don't even need to be into racing, like, you know, that way. Just it's a quality day out, but it's obviously added to if you're into racing. It's just like a dream, like, you know, that way.
Yeah.
Especially, as I said, if you get a vintage year with all of the top horses there, then you're laughing, like, you know, that way.
Yeah, yeah. Is this year particularly quiet, or why is it different than, you know, you mentioned earlier, even you were surprised about the prize money. Why is
No,
it not a vintage year?
it's kind of like I don't really know, to be honest. There's like a number of different reasons. Obviously, it's hard, like logistic wise, it's harder with COVID.
Yeah.
There has been kind of a decrease in, like, kind of a year-on-year decrease in the horses that have been going over. Do you know that way?
Yeah.
So I think it's just because of where it falls in the season that people don't want to send their top stars over. So,
Yeah.
but as I said, there's still, like, I mean, it's not as if it's really bad horses. It's just not like, for Group 1s and Group 2s, you're expecting to have the cream of the crop, whereas not all of them are there. So it's easy just to kind of throw.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, slightly less than its usual high standards. Like,
yeah. So
I think that really only applies maybe if you're a purist like yourself, you know, to kind of a regular like myself. Might not even clock the difference.
Yeah, but listen, I mean, like, you know, it's still a great spectacle, and I said, you know, over there, obviously you're not allowed to bet, so they do it off, like, you get all these free bets where they're cool, so they'll, like, you know, the organizers put up, like, you know, $5,000 or whatever, and you pick your horses in each of the races, and if you're still kind of like pick sixes and place pots and things like that, you know, so that,
Right.
like, you don't have to contribute to the pool. It's like the pool is done by the organizers, so they're good to kind of keep you entertained and stuff as well. But this is a different feel than a normal English meeting. But
Yeah, I looked at you would have shared photos with us at the time when you went there, and it looks more like a spectacle as opposed to a kind of a punt and day out. Like, it's nearly more like a Formula One setup than your kind of day at the races in the UK or Ireland kind of vibe. That's just based on the way it looks. I've obviously never been to it, so
yeah, no, it is very much like, you know, extravagance or whatever.
yeah.
But, yeah, it's class. Like, I mean, my whole trip to Dubai was just amazing. Like, I couldn't recommend it any highly or any more highly. Like, you know, it was class from start to finish. I said, like, even Breakfast with the Stars, you kind of need to be a purist for Breakfast with the Stars now, because like, you know, I went with the girlfriend and getting up at about 4:30 to be in a taxi to go out to the racetrack for, you know, 5:30 to see horses run around the track. Probably isn't everybody's kind of cup of tea, like, you know, that way.
No.
So you do need to.
I presume it was your birthday, not her birthday, based on
yeah, exactly.
it
Actually, it was my 30th birthday was the occasion that we went for.
Did you say, by the way, in your SerieA bet you included the Como game?
I did, yeah. So there's a goal there, yeah.
Yeah, it's goal there. It's the only one I left out, but there's a goal in that one. So, yeah. The next race we got up on the screen for our viewers is the 2:15 at Kempton. So obviously it says 10:15 on our screen. That's obviously just the automatic clock, whatever the computer is connected to. So don't pay attention to that. We're firmly aware of what's coming up. Do you have anything picked in this one, Gary?
I don't. I'm just going into to look now. So I said most of my bets are from Doncaster and from MEYDAN today. But we'll go ahead and have a look. So 2:15 at Kempton. Have you backed anything?
No, I looked earlier. When I went in earlier, I was going to back Master the Stars. I might yet do that. Got what, about a minute or two. Soto Sizzler is a name I haven't seen in a good while. 25 here on the exchange. I won't be backing it. That horse is kind of from a while ago. Am I right in thinking that, Gary?
Yeah, it's like 6-year-old. So he would have been around
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull the trigger on the Gosden. The Gosden horses seem to be running well. Even though he's second string from the owner's colours. I think there's not much, just from looking there. There's not much between them. There's £3 on official ratings. Rob Hanlon's a good jockey, and as I said, the Gosdens are in form. So I'm gonna go with that.
Straight win or each way?
Win, sure. He's 4-1, like, so I'm just going to win.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that race should be off in a moment. As Liam said, to anybody watching in, let us know who you were backing. We're monitoring the comments and things like that here. So if you're backing anything, let us know. We can share that on as well.
Yeah, I've just gone each way on Master of the Stars at 10-1. So obviously, we've talked before about the sponsorship of races and the race names and all that, but there's a few of them I saw today. Forget which courses they were on, and it was like follow us on Twitter. So it was like that was the whole name of the race, obviously from the race course themselves. I got a good laugh out of that.
Yeah, no, like a lot of them do that when they're struggling.
Yeah, no one is obviously bid on that particular race, so
yeah, like these ones are kind of the lower tier races, if you know what I mean. So
yeah.
They still haven't gone into the stalls here. So did you pull the trigger on anyone in the end, or are you just gonna keep your powder dry?
No, I've gone with Master of the Stars. So yeah, just back each way there at 10-1. But your Como game has gone 2-0, by the way. You probably should have just put the house on that one to have goals, considering it's the only one I left out. That's usually how that works.
Yeah, it's 8-5, like decent price for it.
That's crazy. I mean, for me, there should be no football game that's 8-5 for goals. Remind me about the ladies' football when this race is done. I don't want to start now my story and then cut off on the race. Already. No. I think I've just built this up too much already, so forget it. Scratch it from the calendar.
I did my over 1.5 ACA anyway. So while we're waiting on this race to start, I'll call it out. So
yeah, if you want, before this race starts, if you want to whip it over to me, I'll get it up on the screen for any of our viewers, so they don't have to take notes like they're back in class writing down. Here's a list of topics we're going to cover in the exam. Gary flies through them with a lightning speed.
I'll get that across in a second. So
yeah, no rush. We got till 3 o'clock anyway. But they're all English games, are they?
They are, yeah. So it's all just the League 1, League 2. As I said, it's a bit of a mug bet, but it keeps you interested right till the death, that way. And it gives you a spread of games. So it's paying 17-1, which is pretty good for a 9-fold of over 1.5.
We've talked about them before. Those bets, if you accept that they're just for entertainment, and you know that you're taking, like you said, it's a bit of a mug bet. It's not much above buying a scratch card, but they're good fun. You don't get carried away. I think they're
exactly. That's what you want. Is just like you're gonna have. I don't know about you, but you're gonna have the bets that you really fancy, and you're gonna plow into. But then you're also gonna have the other ones where you just want a bit of entertainment from it. So
exactly.
So that race is off there now. So I've gone to the lead here. Still a long way to go because it's nearly a 1.5 mile race, a 1 mile 3 race. So What one did you say you backed again, LB?
Master of the Stars. Number 7, he's kind of in the middle of the pack there.
I see him there, yeah. Handy colours to track anyway.
The track, yeah. Although tracking horses, I've known it for a while, but watching Cheltenham last week, I think I need a strip of Specsavers. You're watching some of them come around, you're like, is that my horse, or is it just vaguely the same colour as my horse? So I think
like there's nothing worse when you're like in this race, obviously there's the caps are different, but there's 2 shake hand down horses. And I'm on one of them, but like if you're in a race where you forget the cap that you have, especially like in National Hunt when there's JP McManus runners, and there's like 10 of like a field of 20, but 10 of the field of JP McManus runners, and you're trying to figure out which one is yours, like
yeah.
Especially when you're watching on phone,
half blind.
You don't have it up on the 50-inch telly, like.
Yeah.
So they're just turning into the turn around the home bend here now on my screen. I have a bit of a chance. A lot of Fave is still going fairly well. You're under a bit of pressure. You'd be doing well. Geez, the Fave is probably going to piss if he hasn't come off the bridle at all. Hopefully he doesn't find much. Go on, stay on. Nah, Fave's way too good. So another second. I think that's 3 seconds in a row that I've picked Panadol a second as well. So
all straight wins though, right? That's a bit of a kick in the. I mean, at the odds, you're not going to be getting much back anyway.
That's it. Yeah, you could be second Faves or whatever. You couldn't be backing them. So here, I'll take a break now and get this ACCA across to you so you can get them.
Yeah. We'll be over to the next. We've got the odds up on the screen for anyone. You're just going to go big race to big race. So obviously we might talk about a race that's on in the meantime. Don't worry about that. The rest of your ACCA from earlier on doesn't come into play for a while. I'm right in thinking half 3 or something like that.
The races are later, yeah. So have you've done the double there, have you?
No, I actually haven't done that. Good, thanks for reminding me. Going to get on that.
It's someday a punt on, like, it's like an absolute punt fest. You're just going around betting on absolutely everything, like, that way.
Yeah. One of those days it would have been a wild one back in the pubs, and the pubs that were open again. Definitely.
So just like Joe, it won't be long until the linking comes round. So as I was saying earlier on, the Hortazar is 80-1. The £5 claimer on him for David O'Mara. So I think I'm going to take a chance on him as opposed to Orban. But like if you can get up to 9 places at 22-1 on Bet365. So for anybody who's looking to play at big odds, but still have that insurance of the places, the each way extras there on Bet365 are good. I might actually take some of my own advice and go 66-1 about 6 places.
That's pretty good.
He's 50-1 for 6 places, so I back that there, and then I'm just going to go win on Dana, as I said. So
yeah,
2 of those on.
I was saying to you about the women's football. It's just seeing it on my screen here again. Usually like the teams, it's the same teams as Man City, United, Arsenal, Chelsea, like in the female version of every league. But in the SerieA is on at the minute, the women's SerieA, and there's a team at the San Marino Academy. Like I'd say they probably wouldn't even be like an association team in the men's football. Like I've never heard of.
Yeah.
The San Marino Academy sounds like a school or something. So I've never seen that.
Yeah,
before.
You see that in the 80s football, like the Doncaster and stuff are really good. Like I think there's the Doncaster Bells and things like that. But it's strange you see like Premier League and then you see
yeah. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna do a little bit of that Bet365 extra places that you mentioned as well. They look, it's when you're looking at your extra place and the odds come down, you're kind of watching it going, how greedy am I as a person? I think that'd be a good psychology test. You're like, I want my 60s, no, I'll accept 50s, and you're just looking at it. I think I think 6 places is about as far as you. Like, I mean, 9 places is great, but in reality, it's nearly like a lottery at that stage. I'm going to step away for one moment. I'll be back before the next. I think the next race we're going to focus on is the 10:35 at Doncaster, or the 2:35. I'll be back before that.
Yeah. So again, anybody who's watching in, don't be afraid to get the comments in on YouTube and Facebook. We're monitoring there. So get those across. If anything picked out that you fancy yourselves, let us know. So we can cheer it on for you. As LB mentioned, we'll try and get our bets up on screen so you guys don't have to take any notes of what we're backing. John, we can't kind of endeavour to do our best there. So there might be a bit of delay in getting those bets on the screen. The graphics are obviously helpful there now with the exchange odds per race. So hopefully that helps you out as well. One other thing to mention is that anybody watching that's a horse racing fan. So we will have a Aintree preview night coming up for the Grand National. So anybody who was watching our Cheltenham preview night a couple of weeks ago, I think that went down a treat. Everybody enjoyed it that tuned in. We had prize giveaways, a lot of good discussion, picked out a good few winners throughout the week. So we're going to do the same. It's probably just going to focus on the Saturday of the Grand National. So we'll probably do it on the Thursday or Friday evening. And it'll be the same, hopefully the same crew. So we're trying to get the finalized dates, times, the people we're going to have on there, and trying to get a couple of special guests lined up as well. So a little bit of a work in progress. If you watch our socials, you'll be kept up to date there. We'll have a Facebook event out as soon as we have things locked down a bit more. So as I said, that's a Grand National preview night where we'll give an overview of all of the runners in the field, the other races that day, and there'll be prize giveaways and a couple of other things that time as well. So if you're into horse racing, make sure to tune into that. In addition, anybody who's into the Major League Soccer, has watched our Friday bet-alongs, we're also going to be doing a Saturday bet-along for Major League Soccer from when the league kicks off the weekend of the 17th of April. So I think it's 8 o'clock games. There's 2 games on there, 8 o'clock GMT, so that's 3 p.m. US time. On Saturday the 18th. So make sure to tune into that if you're into Major League Soccer as well. Sorry, I'll actually look a rundown of a couple of the upcoming events that we have.
Yeah, I could hear you. So it was I'm looking forward to the Grand National preview or the Aintree preview. Good to get the band back together for that one. It was we got a lot of positive feedback from the viewers near and far. They people who know us and people who don't, so they took a lot from it. And like I said, you guys have a lot more racing knowledge than me, so for my own sake, it's quite beneficial to listen in as well. So looking forward to that one for sure.
Yeah, it definitely was really good. Like I actually thoroughly enjoyed doing it as well. I thought, John, obviously it's easy to say when you're part of the people that are presenting it or whatever. But I thought it went really well, and as you said, a lot of the feedback we got was really good. So that's kind of kicked us on now to do the Grand National one. Obviously, the Grand National, kind of the biggest race of the year, the people's race. So everybody would be interested to hear. So again, there probably won't be many sweepstakes and things like that this year because with people not being in offices and things like that. So everybody will probably have to try and get a bet online with no bookies being open as well. So we actually are in contact with a couple of our betting partners to see if we can get some special offers around the Grand National.
Yeah, I was going to say, I never encourage people to wait, but if you maybe wait a little while, there'll be some good Grand National offers, for setting up your accounts a little bit closer to the time. So make sure to take advantage of those. we'll have the links with you when the time is right. So keep an eye out on the socials, like Gary was saying.
LB, have you picked anybody out in the next race?
I'm looking at the Doncaster race. I haven't bet anything yet. Kind of a little bit disappointed in my picking today so far, so I'm not really little bit gun shy at the minute, or trigger shy. What about yourself?
Yeah, this is another
Big
one.
odds out there.
It's another one of those races that you know, kind of big field handicaps. A lot of bookies are playing 5 or 6 places. I see Skybet actually playing 7 places on this next race. So I've gone with number 8. I'm probably going to murder the. Number 9. I'm probably going to murder the pronunciation of this, but Mostawa. So he's 40 to 1 with Skybet. They're paying 7 places. I've backed him at 18 to 1 with Bet365. We're paying 5 places. So I said, shop around there. You might get a bit of value. But Sylvester D'Souza is aboard. He's up £4 this horse, but I think he'll still run well. And yeah, like at 18 to 1, you only need him to run to a place. So again, I'd be happy with top 5.
Yeah, I backed him. I backed that horse before, thinking it was a horse you had recommended. I got the name wrong. I'm just looking at the form here to see when it was. It was just a good while ago. It would have been last summer, maybe. Where is it? I'm looking at one. He came second at Sandown in July. It could have been that. He didn't win the one anyway. He placed, and I actually put the bet on, thinking, "Oh, Gary mentioned that horse," and then I said it to you, and you were like, "No, that wasn't me at all." So cool. Yeah, let me actually jump into Skybet here. That's a good thing to point out, that the extra places.
So 7 places is like, you know, fantastic value. John, you finish in the top 33% of the field. You get paid out. I love these kind of big field handicaps, especially when you look at it and it's 7 to 1 the field. It's so open. There's value everywhere. You can make a case for a load of them. So yeah, it's kind of right up my street. I love these handicaps, and they seem to be every Saturday throughout the flat season. There's always one of these big handicaps to get stuck into. Before it kicks off, I'm just going to run and get a drink here. But
yeah. Anyone who's still with us, make sure to like the page and follow us on it, whichever social platform you're watching us on. It's a great way to stay in touch with what we're doing. If you like the show, as Gary mentioned, there'll be a few new things coming up over the next couple of weeks. Different time slots, different sports. With the MLS and the flat racing season kicking off, we'll be varying the content a bit. So we'll get the announcements out as soon as we have them. But make sure to follow the pages and subscribe with the notifications on. Is the best way to keep up to speed on what we're doing. And let me just get this 235. If you're backing anything in this race, make sure to let us know in the comments as well. We'll cheer it on for you, even if we don't follow you in necessarily. And you change bookie then, and the graphics are hard to follow. So I think on this one I'm going to be in between. Oh, there you are, Gary. I think on this one I'm between Arctic Vega and Mascot as my Skybet bet of the race. Although I just feel like I'm not getting much value for my 7 places on the Ross Ryan
one. Yeah, Mascot has it has a decent chance.
Yeah.
I like those the horses that are just gelded, because it seems to improve them. So John, it kind of ekes out an extra bit of improvement. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't put you off that.
The price is coming in a bit here as well.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of punts in these races. Like, you know, the prices to be moving all over the place.
Jesus, the odds on Mascat just plummeted as I was going into back it.
So obviously all of the viewers going into
yeah. It was when 8 to 1, 15 to 2, 7 to 1, 13 to 2. So he kept rejecting the bet. I think we're on here. And if things go well anyway today on the bet along, we'll be on to the Irish Lotto tonight at 8 o'clock.
For sure.
Right, you've got this one lined up.
Still, there's going to be a few more minutes before they're off here, because again, that's the thing about the flat as well. But, you know, trying to get all of the horses into the stalls and these big runner handicaps, like, you know, 24 runners or whatever, and then one of them starts to act up.
Yeah.
Kind of just the latest things left, right, and centre, like, you know. Did you pull the trigger on Mascat?
Yeah, on Mascat there, yeah.
Grant. So Mascat and Mustra. So you're coming out of stall 17, I'm coming out of stall 14. So we'll
Nice and close.
That's grand. It's worse when you're watching a flat race like this, and, you know, you're trying to track two horses on the opposite sides, because, you know, they're spread across the track, so you don't know what's happening. I have Sylvester D'Souza on mine, so hopefully he gives a nice positive ride.
Yeah, I couldn't watch this on. Do you ever get it with some of the bookies? They let you watch some races without a bet, and then other ones won't. Do you get that? I know in the past you used to have to back them, but now.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are starting to bring other rules in, like, you know, as long as you have money in your account, you can watch, and, you know, but it kind of differs from bookmaker to bookmaker, you know.
Yeah. To a small stake, a small bet on one of the very long odd ones there, just to get through the hurdle of watching it. So I won't include it in the head-to-head anyway. It'd be a pretty lottery type bet. Right, I get this back on. Still no more goals in Italy, by the way. It's unfortunate. Those prices are beginning to look pretty reasonable. Oh, sorry, the Metallica game has a goal, and then the Yorkoma one is in. So you're actually looking reasonable. If you get a goal in the Perugia and Pistoiese games before half time, you could be in a nice position. I'm kind of struggling now, I'd say, in that one.
Yeah, I'm still asking for a lot, like, you know. But as I said, there's a chance there. It's good, like, when you've got one of them in, John. It's nice to have a leg banked early.
Yeah. Especially if you're looking at cash outs later on.
Wouldn't half one come through to this? So
got that there. It's not on the screen yet, but we'll have it up before they kick off for the viewers.
They're off here in this race, so trying to watch it here. It's mini on my screen, because Jersey Bet365 don't let you put it full screen.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I'm in about third place here. Going okay in probably about halfway through now. So have a nice position in about fourth or fifth. Trying to spot yours. I can't spot yours now, to be honest.
No, neither can I. Worryingly, probably still back at the stalls.
Yeah, I actually can't see him. Like, it must be the fact that he's in pale colours. But Sylvester's still holding on to my lad here. Just coming into the last 3 furlongs now, letting him down. Go on, Sylvester. I'm in third, closing in. The thing in fourth is going well, though. Go on, Sylvester. I'm going to go close here, I'd say. Probably just be beaten about maybe a length, but he's still staying on. Coming into the final furlong. Go on, stay on. Stay on. No, I'll get my each way money, I'd say. I'm going to finish about fourth, maybe third beating a length. Not bad. I honestly didn't see yours the whole way, so I'm not too sure.
No, not good.
I'm sorry, just a goal in Perugia there while that was going on. Actually, I see you. I think you got. No, they showed yours after the line. You got sixth. 1, 2.
That's all right. We got 7 places with 3-6 with Sky Bet. So
I think it was sixth anyway. Could be wrong. It's hard to know with the colours. And I said I need to get my iPad sorted here with it on, because if I watch it on Sky Go, I'm too far behind. Do you know what I mean? Like the race is over and I'm only halfway. So you have to kind of watch it on the bookmaker sites.
yeah. They're if you're sitting at home, it's one thing. If you're trying to talk about it, or you're sharing it with anybody else, it's the gap is quite noticeable, really.
Yeah, definitely. So I need to get this sorted now before the next race comes in. But yeah, if I can get a goal in the Pistolose Lecco game, that over 2.5 would be looking all right.
Mm-hmm.
So the winner there was Arctic Rifles or Artistic Rifles. He won the favourite, so he was 7.5 to 1, and he beat one of the other favourites, Acquitted, who was 7 to 1. So bit of a fave fest up front.
Yeah. Any the rest of the top of the field there, the finishing places? You get any of the rest of them?
I didn't. I'm just trying to track it back, just watching on screen. But I'm going to get in the fast results section here. So. Yeah, they haven't put the rest of them through. So the Artistic Rifle beat Acquitted, and then it hasn't brought up the rest of them yet to places. So give it a second. So the Alsa Hale and Mogul double is 12 to 1. So you got 12s?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
So for anybody that is just tuned in, so in MEYDAN, the 3:30 in MEYDAN, we're going for Alsa Hale. And then in the 4:10 at MEYDAN, we're going for Mogul, trained by Aidan O'Brien. So the double there, 12 to 1. So fingers crossed we can bang that in. Got my first kind of return of the day now off that Sylvester D'Souza place. So hopefully that's a sign of things.
Yeah, we're warming up now. Finally, things are.
Yeah. Although the final result still hasn't come in, so I'm still a bit apprehensive that I was following the wrong horse. I said I was following on a tiny little box on the screen because of that 364. So,
give me a second. I'll get the football app up there for anyone who's going to watch. So I'll get this.
what have you watched any of the international football this week, LB?
Not a huge amount of it, if I'm honest. I watched Ireland. Got incredibly carried away with myself at 1-0. It's a good game. I presume you watched it yourself? The Serbia match.
Yeah, I watched. I actually missed the last kind of 20 minutes of it there's a lot of entertainment in it. But yeah, I watched the first hour. I thought Ireland were a little bit unlucky, like, you know, I don't think we really deserved to be beaten. A draw probably would have been a fair result.
We've definitely won games playing a lot worse than that before. So,
exactly, I'm not happy with the kind of the pressure that Kenny is under already. Like, you know, I think it's very unfair. So
I just don't get it. I know we've talked about it ourselves a lot. So, but I don't get why you'd put someone like him in a job and then get, you know, antsy if he doesn't produce results absolutely straight away. Like, if you're going to be demanding instant results, you got to pick a name who's just going to, you know, I don't know. He was a long-term play. He's still a long-term play. I don't get why people are getting so worked up about.
Yeah, it was definitely
performances are improving.
Yeah, John. Like, to me, you give him this World Cup and the next Euros to go and do it. You know, like, and if he can, like, Joe, if he doesn't do it, then grand. But I think from an Irish perspective, there needs to be a kind of a change in the thought process where we're looking at this from a succession plan perspective as well. You know, like, trying to bring through the next generation, have it kind of sustainable, like, you know, that way. So yeah, I hope he wins now tonight. He gets a bit on. Obviously, if he loses tonight, he could be sacked, I'd say. But,
do you think so? Do you think it's that bad at this stage?
Like, I mean, maybe not get sacked tonight, but I think a lot of pressure will come on from kind of the outsides, you know, that way. Excuse me. Yeah, a lot of pressure will come on from the outside, and it's just going to make, you know, the next games fucking like so hard on them, you know, that way. So
yeah, it just gets silly if you're getting rid of him at this stage, though.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. Like, as I said, I would be giving him as long as possible, you know, and you can't expect miracles overnight, especially with a kind of an aging squad. You know, like, obviously the League of Ireland isn't in a great shape at the moment to bring through, like, you know, players of international quality. So you're kind of, he needs to be able to bring through the youth from, you know, all of the kind of English academies and things like that, and blend them in, kind of develop a style of playing. But I'm just happy to see that an Irish team are trying to play football, like, you know, that way. So
yeah,
I think that's good.
Yeah, God, it didn't even cross my mind that he could be in trouble. But if it is going that way, God, it's just back to where do you even go from here? Do you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, I mean, I think he could have got better results by being a bit more pragmatic. And, you know, obviously Ireland for years were they were a team where you would kind of bank on them, John. Like, nobody was backing over 2.5 goals in Ireland games because you back keep a clean sheet and things like that. Whereas by trying to play a bit more expansive, we've lost that. So it's like, John, he could have put all backs to the wall and got a couple of draws here and there, but I said that's not going to help you in the long term, I don't think. You know?
No, exactly. What do we get out of that? You know, scrape to maybe one competition qualification playoff game. It's about the best you could be hoping for at that kind of carry on.
Yeah, and then usually when you get to when you get to those tournaments, then you're like wiped the floor with, because, you know, you just burned out, you know, that way. So yeah, I hopefully he gets time anyway, and hopefully can turn it around. England look good, although obviously they're up against San Marino, but they look good the other day, like, you know.
Yeah. Their pattern is as predictable as ours, though. You know, just look unbelievably good in qualification. Expectations get high, and then disappoint themselves then in the competition itself.
Yeah, kind of flatter to deceive.
Yeah. What race are you watching next? There's a few coming up now. Kempton, but we haven't even talked about Newbury at all. And then there's a little gap then.
No, like the next race is for me was going to be the 310 at Doncaster. That's the next one I'm getting involved. So that's the Lincoln, kind of the big one of the day. As I said, I backed the Dania at 7-1, was in there around 6-1 now. And I also backed Portazar at, I went for 50-1 with the extra places, but you can get him at 80-1, 5 places. So yeah, they're the two for me.
Mm-hmm. I haven't picked anything out on those yet myself, but I will do it now actually while we're waiting.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go into do another football acca here. So I sent you on the over 1.5s. I'm gonna go in and do 2 more bets. So a kind of a result acca, but also a both teams to score acca as well. So.
Uh-huh.
It's mad how much you miss the Premier League, like that way, and the other like Championship and things. It just seems like there's hardly any football on at the minute. But.
Yeah, it's a strange. You got how far down live score you've got to scroll before you actually recognise one of the teams playing sometimes.
Yeah.
Those two you've got later on. I know you mentioned the double of 12s, but they've come in considerably since you backed them earlier or yesterday, whenever that was.
Yeah, they have. Mogul. I think Mogul is definitely the best horse in the race. It's just whether he's primed for this or not. His first run of the season, a couple of these have had runs during the last couple of weeks, so it's just whether he's fit enough. But like Aidan O'Brien is kind of a master trainer, so I doubt he would be sending him over there undercooked at the minute. But Mogul's probably main aim is something like the Art of Triumph at the end of the season. So again, that kind of tapers my bet, but yeah, I still think he has a great chance. And I said, if he is fully fit, I think he's the best horse in the race. So, so
you got my hope.
Bet out because it's we probably won't be able to get it on screen, but it's a 5-fold. So Hull, Blackpool, Portsmouth, Cambridge, and Tranmere all to win. He's around about 60-1. So that's what I've pulled the trigger on. 3 home teams, 2 away. I say Cambridge away to Carlisle. Like on form this season, I can't really understand it, but there might be some injury news that I've missed.
Who else was there? Blackpool, Hull, Cambridge.
So Hull, Blackpool, Portsmouth, Cambridge, Tranmere.
Tranmere at juicy price there, 31-20.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think they're the biggest odds. Yeah, that's a big old 55-1.
The 55, I thought it was 60, but it might be.
Yeah,
maybe now the big money has gone down, Joe.
Yeah. Nice, yeah. Oh, look, reasonable enough. Yeah, I said Tranmere are probably they're the biggest odds anyway, so but yeah.
Yeah, and I'm doing both teams to score ACCA as well. So I might actually try and send this across if I'm already be able to get it on screen or not. So
it's going to be a combination of 1.5s, 2.5s, and both teams to score now in the English games myself.
So I sent you across my both teams to score ACCA there. no rush on getting up on screen, but just so I'm not accused of after time. So guys, people watching in, if you're on YouTube, obviously the comment box on YouTube, Facebook, get into the comments there. Who are you backing? Why are you backing them? Joe, any questions you have on any of the runners and the races, let us know. We'll try and answer them. So we're here to interact with you guys and to make this as fun as possible for everybody. So get those comments in. I suppose while we have you guys, don't forget to keep in contact with our social networks. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So we're going to have a lot of events coming up over the next month or so. So if you like what you're seeing here, keep looking at those socials, and you'll see our list of upcoming events.
Yeah, you might have heard me say it as well. I mentioned the same thing when you stepped away, Gary, that the schedule is going to change a bit over the coming weeks. We've got, with the Aintree preview and the MLS coming along, it'll be different days, different times, even different formats potentially. So just keep an eye on the socials. We'll keep you up to date on everything. So just so there's no surprise if you come on at our usual 7:30 on a Friday and it looks a bit different than normal. I think I've possibly put my most degenerate bet of a long time on just now. So it's a combination of 1.5s, 2.5s, and both teams to score in League One and League Two. So we'll get that up for the viewers as well now in a moment. Your SerieA C is looking pretty decent. So one leg is fully in, one leg has 2 goals, one leg has 1, and one leg has none. So it's the full spectrum, but
yeah, that's right. Like an early goal in the Pistolose game, and it opens it right up.
yeah,
but there's
looks an off.
a cash out on it, which is the main thing. Like, I always think on those goals bets, if you can get kind of 60 minutes in and still have some sort of cash out available, you're doing all right. Again, it seems, I don't know whether it's scientifically backed up or statistically backed up, but it seems to me there's a lot more goals late in games than there is early. Like, the second halves usually have a lot more goals. So
yeah, yeah. I don't know if it's backed up either, but it certainly feels that way. Certainly in the leagues that we watch, it absolutely feels that way.
Have you picked one out in the Lincoln yet? You better not forget about that.
No. No, I'll have it on in a moment. I was going to get these up on the screen for the viewers. Still 10-15 minutes, so yeah, should be good. Have you been to Doncaster, Gary?
No, I haven't. It's actually on my list. I want to do either York or Doncaster. So I'd say on a profitability scale, York is probably my most profitable race course. I seem to do really well just back in there, but I've never been, so I've always said that I'll go. So when things open back up, I'll look to get up there. But yeah, Doncaster on the list. So I'd like to go to the St. Ledger meeting at Doncaster.
Is the Lincoln, would that be a big crowd filler or crowd pleaser when COVID aside? Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about those kind of northern races, the Yorkshire people, they're mad for sport. So Joe, they always just sell out, and it just seems to be a carnival atmosphere and things like that, that way. So yeah, it's but it would be the Lincoln, this meeting is kind of the traditional kickoff of the flat season. So it's always after Cheltenham, and usually there's a bit of a gap, but with Cheltenham being so late this year, it's only a week after. But yeah, it kicks off, and then the flat is going to start ramping up, and then after Aintree, really the national hunt season starts to wind down.
Yeah.
So the 3 o'clocks will be kicking off soon. Don't forget to shout off some of those. got a nice selection of bets on now. I said the horses, goals, teams to win. So fingers crossed, get a bit of a shout.
Those ones, like, I mean, you know, an expert in the field would tell you that it doesn't make sense at all, but they certainly feel more likely to come in. You know, you put a bet on from 5 different leagues or 5 different types of bets, they feel like you've got a little bit more variety going on there than just your normal, 10 games to have 2 goals or whatever it is.
Yeah. I know we advertised to be shown the 250 at Newbury and the 3 o'clock at Navan, but I've no research done into them, so gonna leave those.
That was the long list what we advertised. We couldn't have committed to cover every single one of them.
Yeah.
Heads would be spinning, I think, at that stage.
It's some day of racing though, like,
Yeah.
You just want the matches to kick off so you can start tracking the goals. Getting very close last week. You saw that with the playing on 1 goal for the 1,200 quid or whatever.
Very cruel. You didn't really get a cash out offer on that one, did you? Or
I think there was a cash out of like 200 quid or something like that at one stage, but yeah, no, it wasn't anything that was. At that stage, I think there was like 20 minutes left. You were kind of saying they'll definitely be going the last 20 minutes, and obviously there wasn't. So
yeah, cruel, really, when you see it.
Yeah, you can see some of the games are starting to go live here now. So get a bit of a cheer on. What football bets have you got on, LB?
Yeah, just give me. I'll give it to you in a second. I'm just trying to. Hopefully, there's no goals that would lead to an accusation of after timing. But I'm trying to get something up on the screen here before.
Yeah, trying to see what games had early goals so I can say I had them.
Yeah, just give me till 1:15 and I'll let you know.
There was a goal early on in one of the games anyway. I think where the Bristol Rovers Sunderland has gone suspended anyway. So
I've over 0.5 in that one, I think.
it hasn't come up as a goal now. It's just still suspended, but yeah, it's not a goal, so you're all right.
Oh no.
One must have been a dodgy tackle.
Yeah. Do you remember when they brought in those, like, the in-play betting, and then you had there was just these huge delays for like kind of phantom suspensions in the games. It used to be so frustrating.
Like Betfair for a while used to, like, every game they'd be doing a phantom goal. So you were sitting there and it would just come up and we're like, "Whoa, there, God, brilliant!" And then, like, it actually wouldn't be a goal in the game; it just disappeared. So
Yeah.
and then afterwards.
So I've got over 2.5 in the MK Dons Hull Blackpool games. Both teams to score: Peterborough, Tranmere, and Crawley, and then over 1.5 in Harrogate, Grimsby, and Stevenage. So that is about 120 to 1. So it's a huge one.
Nice one.
Yeah, a couple of goals early, and especially the 2.5s, and I'll be very happy about that.
Yeah, like the 2.5s are great in terms of, like, when you get a roll and you get early goals, they're brilliant for just the boost to your bet. But they can be some killers when you get like an hour in, there's no goals, and you're sitting there going, my bet ruined, especially when everything else is in or close to being in.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. It's so, like, it is 3 things you need in the game, so at some point you start to give up on them. 1.5 is always kind of within reach. Certainly feels a lot more attainable. But then the difference in odds, like, you could be looking at 6 to 5 down to 1 to 2, So
You Peterborough, have you?
yeah,
Is there a goal in that game already?
nice.
So Peterborough gone 1-0 up after less than 3 minutes gone in that game. So that's a nice start. I have them in that both teams to score as well. So I said that on to you, didn't I? The both teams to score, I reckon.
Yeah, we have that up on the screen for anyone who's watching us there. I think it actually is the one on the screen right this
Oh,
moment.
I see that there.
Yeah.
Again, it's more just not be accused of aftertime when you're cheering it on.
Yeah. We'll be going back and cutting out the clips where we ran through the audio and hope we didn't run through it with a slip of the tongue.
Yeah.
Reading through it there, I like the look of Brentford Hope, but he's a non-runner in this one, so that's out the window.
Oh, Brentford Hope non-runner. That's a big non-runner.
Yeah,
he had a good chance, like.
So then I don't think he was. I think I was looking at this even like an hour ago. I don't think he was a non-runner.
Yeah, he must have just been pulled out. I didn't see it this morning either, so that changes things significantly.
You'd be probably feeling pretty happy now with Danya.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm actually surprised that Daniel's still available at like 6.5 to 1. Obviously Eastern World, so Charlie Appleby has 100% record in the race. So he kind of targets this race a lot. And then, as I said, Hakwiki for John Gosden and Benoit de la Salette, they're kind of deserved favourites at the top of the market. But I said earlier on, you couldn't be backing them in a really tough and competitive handicap like this. Like, you definitely couldn't be backing those 3 to 1 shots. Like,
yeah. No, I just threw a tenner on Danya there myself. It's 9.2 on the exchange, so seems like a little bit generous based on what you're saying. So I'm going to throw it. But that's not my bet of the race. I'm going to find something else here.
been a drought of goals so far. And that one be the one in. So hopefully see a few more quickly. Man, I thought like Montenegro are playing Gibraltar, and Gibraltar scored a goal. Like, you know, fucking. I say you probably would have got some price for both teams to score in those games. Like,
yeah,
where Gibraltar usually celebrate when they get outside their own half. Like,
yeah, it's a tough one for them. Like, they never get going. Like, it's just back in the day, and not the day wherever they were at the glory days, but like, when football was maybe less advanced than it is now, the smaller nations had a real shot. Like, playing with a lot of courage and stuff. But now they're just absolutely hopeless. Like.
Yeah. It's like, I know I saw people like Gary Lineker and things like that trying to make the argument that there should be kind of like a tournament between the smaller nations that kind of, I don't know whether they kind of like the FA Cup. You know, by the FA Cup they have like the first and second rounds and the qualifiers and things like that, and then the big teams start coming in. So they were suggesting that, and I'm not really too sure how I feel about it. Like, I know it makes sense, but then again, it's kind of like the Olympics. Do you know that way? Like, if like half of the pride is about representing your country. You know, if you win, great, but being able to walk out there and say you're in
you've played against
of your country, like, you know.
I think we can talk about it after the link-in. Like, I kind of, I think a lot of sports kind of need to decide what they want to do. And is it that you want to have huge competitions with loads of teams, or is it for the purists where you just have the best against the best, or you can't really satisfy everybody, So like, yeah, I'm not really sure where I stand on it. But I do think there's not a huge amount gained by having these games in the calendar where you're likes of Liechtenstein and San Marino are going out there and losing 6-7-0. You know, I know the Cup of Nations is probably trying to resolve that a bit by having, you know, it's in tiers. You know, so you're not that you'll never play the big boys, but you're more often playing against your own kind of standard.
Yeah, you're not being walloped all the time. Like, so it allows you to build some structure and a style of play and things like that. There's been a couple of goals there now. So Grimsby have gone 1-0 up against Walsall, and Bradford have gone 1-0 up against Colchester. So
Nice.
like that's in my both teams to score ACA, I have Grimsby. So 2 of those 6 games have had a goal. So that's not the worst start in the world to those. My over 1.5 ACA needs a bit of movement fairly quickly now. And Hull have just got 1-0 up on Gillingham as well.
That's nice. You got them to win, so I've got them in the goals.
Peterborough have actually gone 2-0 up. So I don't know if you got them, and sorry, Leyton Orient have scored as well. So there's a few goals starting to.
I don't have the Leyton Orient game now myself, but
it's good to see a few goals early. Although I've managed to pick 9 of the games in my over 1.5 that haven't had a game yet or haven't had a goal yet. So like the Lincoln is due off now, but
I've got man of the night. That's my bet there.
You've got man of the night, have you?
Yeah.
I thought did you not say you were going to go Daniel, no?
I just threw a tenner on Daniel because the price on the exchange was so much higher than with the bookies.
Alright, so you're like me, you have 2 in the race.
And my only logic in Daniel is that you recommended it and it was higher odds than you recommended it at, so got to take him. Yeah, I take man of the night in this one here. I'm actually I might just leave the stream into this one off because I'm going to be so far ahead of you again. Are you watching it on the bookies actually?
Yeah, so I changed it to watch it on the bookies. Yeah, and I have a full screen here as well on an iPad. So yeah, it's crap with Bet365. You can only get the small panels, but I have here William Hill, got proper full screen. So that's what you want. Relatively little delay.
Yeah.
But as I said, it's so hard to keep track of all these horses now. So even though there's been 3 non-runners, it's still going to be hard to keep track of them going down the straight mile. We're just getting loaded in there now. Man of the night just getting loaded into the stall. So there's probably about 4 or 5 horses left to load. Do one last check of the Premier Leagues and see. Sorry, of the Football League and see.
They're our Premier League, Gary. Really, that's all that matters. Has been no second half goals in SerieA anyway, so that's starting to slip away on us.
Yeah. Plymouth have gone 1-0 up against Blackpool. That's bad for my win bet.
I think if I was backing now, if I hadn't gone in on man of the night, I'd probably back King Ottokar. Not sure why I'm jumping on that one, but I'm not jumping on it. But that'll be my leaning this way.
But that's the thing about, as I said, like you could pick out 4 or 5 in the race and still not pick the winner. Like, you know, that way, so.
Yeah, you only torture yourself then as well because you'll pick out. Then one of them will win. You're like, oh, I was looking at him, even though you were looking at half a dozen, really.
Yeah, but the one that will kill me is Orban, because I had to choose between like Hortazor and Orban, and I've gone for greed by going with Hortazor. So if Orban wins, I'll be sick. But yeah, I think they're nearly all set now. There's probably one more left to load. Yeah, they're going to be off now. So let me just check where you're coming out of. Yep, they're off. Split into 2 groups. So Be interesting. Oh no, they're all running together now, so that's good. It's easy to track. Sometimes, John, they're in two different groups. It can be hard to track. You don't know which side is ahead. They manage to blend it. Are you watching here? You've got a nice little position on the rail there on the inside.
I think my audio, visual, and your commentary are all disjointed, so I don't know where I am.
You can see Daniel has a decent position there as well, just like getting some cover. Hortazor needs to improve a bit, but yeah, you're coming under a bit of pressure there, man. The night.
Yeah.
Daniel's still going well. Hortazor is actually going well now for 50-1 shot. But the Godolphin horse hits the front. Daniel now unleashed. Hortazor is cruising. Go on, Hortazor. Go on, Hortazor. Go on. Go on, Hortazor. Go on. I think he's going to be second, is he? Go on. Go on. Oh, no. The Faves come through and beat him, but he's got to finish third. Not bad for a 50-1 shot.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought he cruised into that for a 50-1 shot. I thought he was gonna win it easily, and then that fave just came out of nowhere and ended up winning fairly snugly in the end. But I said I'll take the third place. Daniel got fourth as well, so anybody who went each way on Daniel will get paid out. And then Orban wasn't a bad shout either, so Orban finished fifth. So the two kind of outsiders that I was saying, 33-1 and 50-1, made the places. So hopefully a few people watching got on, and hopefully I didn't shout in your ear there when it looked like Hortazor was gonna win.
That's a nice pay for you anyway on the place.
Yeah. Like I'm happy with that. So I think I get quarter the odds there. So I'll get 12.5-1.
Oh, nice.
For the place. So I'm fairly sure I need to check it here. So quarter the odds. I got. I'm actually fairly sick now because I took the 50-1, but he was 80-1 with the 5 places, and I took the extra place.
So hard to know, like, you know what I mean? If you go the other way, if you got him.
I've been in the other boat where you don't take, you don't play the safe card and you end up being beaten a short head,
Yeah.
So yeah, I said I'll take the 12.5-1 a place anyway.
Where's the rest of it? Do you know what the rest of the? Here we go. The results.
Just watching this race back here now, I can't believe how well Hortazor travelled there. I really thought he was going to win it, but the fave, that jockey Benoit de la Sayette, he looks class. He's well worth his claim. He's claiming 7 still, which is a joke. Because he's riding like a proper professional. But it was good to get the juices going. Your going man of the night never really got going.
No. I feel like all the ones I've backed today, they've kind of ran similar races, just kind of in the mix until about halfway, and then just get left in.
Yeah, because I actually thought you got a nice position against the rail, but he just didn't seem to be traveling for a long time.
Yeah. Oh well, right. Where are we off to next then? The football is looking. SerieA is it's probably gone. Nothing happened in the.
Well, there's one goal there now in Lecco.
Oh, is there? Not on my screen. There's not. I've just gone in. So you're now, in 2 goals, 1 goal, 1 goal.
No, 1 goal, 2 goals. So I need 5 goals: 2 in Perugia, 2 in Lecco, and 1 in Gubbio.
Yeah.
It's still a bit of an ask, but well, a goal or two in the next 10 minutes, it might start to.
Yeah, the one we have on the screen there now is slightly different because I put in the Catania game instead, which only has the one goal. So basically, 2 goals, 2 goals, 2 goals, 1 goal, which is, you get bigger odds on that now than you would have on the original bet at the start. So
Yeah.
the rest of the football is ticking away there. We won't be giving updates on the individual 1.5s, but there's plenty of them with a couple of goals, and the mixed bag as well, or the both teams to score one is looking all right for you, Gary. Let me check my the gem bet here. You got to admit it when it is, though.
Yeah. Actually, that's what Saturdays like this are all about. Like, with a degenerate punt and having a laugh, picking out 50-1 placed horses.
It's being suspended for a while, so I mean, so a few of them you need 2 goals. So 0-0 in the Tranmere game, both teams to score is in that. But both teams to score 2.5 goals in the Blackpool game, 1 is in. Both teams to score in the Crawley game, 1-0 Port Vale away team. So that's actually looking pretty nice. Over 1.5 in the Grimsby game, 1 goal in. 1.5 in the Southend game, 0-0. 2.5 in Hull, 1-0. 2.5 in MK Dons, 0-0. So that's actually a bad one out the minute. Goalless, and they need 3. Both teams to score the Peterborough game, it's 2-0, so halfway there. Both teams to score the Stevenage game, 0-0. And then, so not too bad. Only 1 game where we need 3 goals. The rest of them down to 2 already, so not too bad.
I'm just going to blow my own trumpet here for a minute now, but I gave
Standard.
In that Lincoln, so I said, kind of about 4 horses. So I said the fave would probably win, or that Hackwee would probably win. And it won. And then I had Hortazor, Orban, and Dania, and they finished 3rd, 4th, and 5th, so all in the place money. So I'm pretty happy with that for such a competitive race,
If you put a tenner on all of those, the way place and wins that you'd said there, you'd be nicely up.
Yeah, well, don't get me wrong, I'm delighted with the just to put the place on Hortazor there now. Keeps things ticking along, that's positive. I'm positive for the day with that includes all of the open bets. So I'm writing all of the open bets off as losers at the minute, and all things being equal, you still you'd be up money, which is fairly good.
Yeah. Do you know the last of the full result for that race, the Lincoln?
So Hackwee was finished 1st, Brunch 2nd, Hortazor 3rd, Dania 4th, Orban 5th, and then I think there was Uzo was 6th. I had it up here a minute ago, but
I'm not to worry.
Sorry, Revich was 6th and Uzo was 7th. Revich was 100-1, finished 6th. So if you were betting with Sky Bet, you would have got paid out there. 100-1. But as I'm saying, these handicaps on the flat, there's always that lurking value, where you can see a favorite and you have to make the decision of whether you want to go in on the favorite kind of with no real value, or you want to take a chance on those outsiders. So 2 of my over 2.5s are in now. Gubbio have gone 3-0 up. So I need 2 goals in the Pistolosa game and 2 goals in the Perugia game.
4 goals in that Como game already. Yeah. You're actually looking pretty solid there. Now, what did that pay, that 4-fold?
So a tenner pays 392 as the return, so 38-1.
Nice.
Yeah. As I said, I probably need another 65 minutes gone. I could do with a goal on each of them in the next 10 minutes before it gets to 75. It opens up the possibility of a cash out, and it also means that you've got that 15 minutes to cheer on the goals.
Yeah. I mean, 2 goals in half an hour in a game is not beyond You know,
Especially as I said,
perfectly reasonable.
these leagues, like I think sometimes in these leagues, the players kind of get tired towards the end of the game. It just turns into goal fest. So that's what I'm hoping for anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if these professional footballers would appreciate being told that they just get tired after 60 minutes of doing their day job.
Like, I mean, SerieA.
I know what you mean.
Why are they telling fucking Zlatan Ibrahimovic like?
Right, where we off to next? Back to MEYDAN. So for the half three.
MEYDAN, yeah.
Half
So
three.
Also Hale's race, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
Um,
Let me check this now to get the exchange up for our viewers. We will. Here we go.
yeah, so like last time out, I thought that they went a little bit too early for home on Al Sahel, and he got nabbed by Lower Glitters late on. I actually like Lower Glitters is probably one of my favorite horses, but I don't think he'll win this. He won well last time out, but I just can't see him backing that up. And he's always coming storm and late, so he needs to time it to perfection. But I'm fairly confident on Al Sahel now. If he gets a little bit more of a patient ride than he got the last time.
Are there any of the big odds ones in this race that caught your eye at all?
Yeah, so the Equitran, 15 to 1. He's a course and distance winner. And he's in good form. Jim Crowley's riding him, so he's the stable jockey for Sheikh Hamdan. And obviously, Sheikh Hamdan,
big week.
One of those pointed winners. So, he was only, I think he finished half a length behind Lord Glitters in the Jebel Hatta when they faced each other last time. And like Lord Glitters is 13 to 8 favourite, and Equitran is 16 to 1. So I think that's a bit of value. And then Land of Legends at 33 to 1. Like he has Christoph Sumi on aboard, who rides that track really well. The time we were there a couple of years ago for the Dubai World Cup, I think Sumian had 4 winners on the card, so that would very much be a jockey play rather than on the horse's form. But he's a clever jockey who rides that track well. So at 33 to 1, I think he has a bit of a each way squeak. As I said, winning is probably beyond them, but if he gets into a place, you're getting probably 8 or 9 to 1 place. So
yeah, that Land of Legends is 45s each way on the exchange. It's actually a huge price.
Yeah,
you only get 3 places. I usually get there's never any specials on the exchange, but
the bad thing about betting on the exchange. So.
It's really the benefit there is if you're expecting a winner, you can get an outsider winner on the exchange is what you really want. Otherwise, you lose some of the other benefits. The World Cup qualifiers have been very goaly today. 2.5 in the Russia-Slovenia game as well.
I like the term goalie.
Yeah, I suppose. In different contexts, it could be confusing what I'm trying to say, but not much goalkeeping being done.
Yeah.
Let me see what
I've actually gone in now I'm putting a cover bet on Equitran. So my main bet is Al Sahel. So I have him in a single. I have him also obviously in that double. But Equitran I'm going for. He plays William Hill are playing top 4.
Bet365 as well here. 18s. What is it on William Hill?
16s, but I got a price boost to 17, I think. I'll just double check that. Yeah, so 17.5 they gave me. So I've
nice.
Gone with that.
I'm going to pull a trigger on Land of Legends and the exchange. I just threw a fiver in to see if I could tempt somebody. It was a huge gap. It was 45 to back and 75 to lay. So I've thrown a little bit in, a little bit below the lay line to see if anyone nibbles on it. If not, I might just back it at 45s anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the race loaded up here now, so I can watch it. It's only 2 minutes to post time, so. I hate races like this where I love Lord Glitters as a horse, but now I have to cheer against him for my bet, like, you know, that way.
Yeah.
Right, I have this set up now, so hopefully that comes on. I was going to get a backup of this just in case, because it's saying it's going to show the race, but it's coming up as the 325 at Newbury rather than MEYDAN. So you've gone Land the Legends, and then I'm on Equitran and Alta. Did you do the Alta Hale and?
I've done the double. Yeah, I've done the double. So that's 12.5 to 1, more or less. But to be honest, I only did it earlier because I'd said it so many times. I'd have felt sick if I'd said it about 5 times and then not done it.
Yeah.
My
it's usually the way. Like
my preference here now is for Land of Legends. Although I take the place on that because it's 45, so no complaints. It's funny in those, you know, Dubai in these places, how quick it gets dark when it gets dark.
Yeah, it's mad. It just goes pitch black, like, and
yeah.
This kind of sounds really weird as well, but the floodlights are class, like, you know, that way. So when you're there, it just like, because it's kind of out in the middle of I wouldn't say countryside, but if you've been to Dubai, if you're not on the main strip, then it's just kind of out in the middle of nowhere, like.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you're just looking around and it's pitch black, and then it's just lit up by the class floodlights. So they're off there now. Land of Legends is in the white cap just for you, so the Godolphin with the white cap.
Mm-hmm.
It's really annoying here now. They again, I'm watching on William Hill, and they have a split screen commentary with like greyhound racing. I'm like, get it off! I want to see the full screen of the
of all the events, like, you know what I mean. You know, 2 greyhound races on at nearly the same time, you could split the screen, no problem if one got held up or something. But like,
yeah, Equitran is in a nice little position there anyway, just in second place.
Yeah,
got full screen here for me here, so that's grand. Al Shahale, I wouldn't be too happy with his position now at the moment. I'd like to see him move a little bit closer, but I suppose he has his dangers in the behind in terms of Lord North and Lord.
Land of Legends is going backwards here now at a rapid pace.
Is he?
Yeah.
Equitran has kicked on anyway, so he's in the lead at the minute, I think. It's a bit of a dodgy camera angle.
Who's this here? I think I'm ahead of you.
On the outside, is it?
Yeah.
Al Tahir was very disappointing.
Yeah.
Look at Land of Legends finishing off though for you.
Where did he finish though? I don't think he placed.
No, 5th.
Yeah.
He stayed on well towards the end. That Lord North that won it, yeah, Frankie Tour.
Yeah, it was.
That was a weird camera angle. They went and focused on like 2 horses for a good bit of the race, and then when they panned out, it just showed Lord North going to the lead, like, you know. Al Shahale was very, very disappointing.
Equitran did nothing for you, did it?
No, it finished 6th in the end, I think, or maybe 7th. It didn't get home. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Land of Legends. Did it? I think it finished 5th, but it might have. It's about 20 yards from the line here, and you had a half length to make up to get the snatch for it. But
Yeah, I don't think you did anyway. No.
That was disappointing. So it just means we'll have to plough into Mogul now to get all our money back.
I was thinking this peaked too early in that fourfold, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like, I mean, I said, again, not to after time, but I had a dozen singles as well. So I still, like, I'm not up money, but I'm not down money either. It's kind of, I might be down a fiver, or I might be up a fiver, like, but it's not anything massive either way. So, when you do lucky 15s, you have a decent winner. And that's one thing for the people watching in as well. So, we have a new website that's going to be coming hot off the press over the next kind of week or so. So if you're on our current website, you'll see that it probably isn't the most modern of sites. So we've done an awful lot of work over the last week or so on the site. Still a bit to do, but I said kind of by this time next Saturday, I think we should have the new site up and running. We're going to have a tutorial section on there. So if anybody's watching in and doesn't understand the betting terminology that we've used, I mentioned like lucky 15s there. If you don't know what a lucky 15 is, let us know on whether it's the public comments or DM us on any of the socials, and let us know what you want answered. We'll answer either in text or video form, and have it either on website or on our YouTube channel. So if there's anything out there that you do want to know, feel free to ask.
Yeah, it's a good point, Gary. I'm not sure if you can cast your mind all the way back to when you were new onto the gambling scene, but so if you're not doing it from a younger age, it's a lot of phrases that people wouldn't know. Now, a couple of our mates, we won't say any names, but guys on the stream even who are less exposed to it, less interested in it even. It's very hard to pick up on a lot of the terminology, or even if you know what the terms mean, you don't know why you do it or why you do certain things at certain times. So, ask questions, guys. We'll happily answer them. And like Gary said, we'll either discuss it on the stream or on a video, or we'll throw an article up on the site to,
Yeah, and I'm probably guilty of that from a racing perspective. You kind of just assume that people know the lingo that you're talking in, like, that way. So when you're talking about handicap ratings and like any other kind of terminology, you kind of just assume that everybody that's watching in knows what you're talking about. But if there is anything that we need to clarify, obviously let us know.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with the doubles here actually, and I'm going with a Summergand and Mogul double.
Right.
So it's 13-1 double. So I'm doing that now. So Summergand's is the next at Doncaster. So I think that would be off fairly
10
soon.
minutes.
10 minutes.
Quarter to, yeah.
It's the 4:10 is Mogul's race, so that's the big one in Dubai.
The Kieran Fallon horse in this next race is 550-1 on the exchange. I don't think they're rating his chances much.
No. I think you'd be wise to probably stay away from that one.
Yeah.
When I was saying that now, I'd probably fucking wrong bin and we'll be cursing ourselves for.
Yeah, famous last words, like.
Yeah. The heck for myself. I see Portsmouth have gone 2-0 up there. So
Nice.
that win Aka that I have will be going all right apart from Blackpool. But I still wouldn't count them out because Plymouth aren't a great away from home. Blackpool are good at home. So I think while it's not great to be 1-0 down, I'm still not writing it off yet. Although what I am writing off now is the SerieA. So just coming into the 80th minute, and I still need 2 goals in Perugia and 2 goals in Lecco. So it's a bit of a big ask at this stage.
It's actually funny, the game that I was so worried about, the one that I'd included and you didn't, has actually got 2 goals in it now. There's been 2 late goals there, so I'm still just 1 short. But then I'm short in the 2 that you are as well. The Perugia and Pistoiese games are about 1-0 and 1-0, so going to be a miracle if they come good. That Como game has got over 4.5 now. It's absolutely a very goalie kind of game, yeah. So
he's been able to use goalie twice.
I'm going to keep using it now. We're going to stick with it. All right, so yeah, the Doncaster one. I wonder what would those horses, like that one there that's drifted out to like 500 to 1. Like, what's causing that? Obviously, everyone thinks it's a no-hoper, but like, why would it drift so extremely?
Like in the flat, especially, you see that there's draw biases. So, like, again, I haven't looked at that horse, so this mightn't be the reason for it. But what you'll see is that, like as we were saying about the Lincoln, there was 20 runners in the Lincoln, so they're spread across the track. But the track could drain differently, so one side of it is softer than the other. That which makes, like, obviously the harder the ground, the faster the horses are going to go on it. So if you're stuck, like, on the other side of the track to the good ground, you kind of have no chance, like, that way. So a lot of the tracks in England have those kind of draw biases. So it could be a bit of that with the fact that he's an outsider already, and then just like, as money comes for the other horses at the top of the market, he just be pushed out further.
When is the draw made for where they go in?
So a couple of days beforehand, basically at
All
the
right.
declaration stage, so they just do a random draw to see. So, like, your race card number in a handicap especially is your the highest rated horse in the race. So top weight is number 1. And then it goes from then down, like, like second top rated, third top rated, etc. But then obviously they're drawn out. So if you look at, again, we can probably go through this in one of the tutorials, but if you look at a race card, you'll see that it has the main number. Like, so let's say number 1, like in the next race at Doncaster is Ainsdale. So it has a number 1 beside it, but then in brackets underneath there's 11. So, like, that means he's coming out of stall 11. So that's been his draw. So I said it depends on again which side of the course is the.
But I wouldn't say that the draw is actually what's happening to this extraordinaire horse, because he's drawn. He's in 1, and what looks to be the second favorite in the horse, Brando, is in stall number 2. And he's 5 to 2, so it's just the fact that he's a no-hoper, really.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking at it here. Like, he's rated 78, and he's up against horses that are rated like 116.
So he's in here as the number 5. So he's his card is number 5. So would that have been that he's the 5th highest rated horse in that race?
Oh, because this isn't a handicap, so this is a listed race.
That's only an handicap, so all right.
Yeah. So then basically it's an alphabetical order. So so if they were in, like, basically, if you look at who's the fave in this race, the fave in this race is the Summergand. Summergand is rated like 109, and Extraordinaire is rated 78. So basically, if Summergand and Extraordinaire were running a handicap, Summergand would be giving them £31, 3 stone, basically.
It's like a small human up on top of it, like an extra one.
Yeah, so, like, now the handicaps, like the way they work, you probably wouldn't have that situation. The horse have to run in what's called like out of the handicap, so basically you wouldn't get all of that weight. But in official ratings, Extraordinaire has £31 to make up with Summergand. I don't even think Summergand is the highest So Brando is 116 rated. And King is only 78, Extraordinary is only 78. So it's even bigger there. It's probably 37 or whatever that is, pound that you have to make up on it. You know?
Yeah, it's not then that there's just one horse, like that 540 to one fella, like, what is it, Extraordinaire. You'd need quite a few horses to have really bad days for him to get in with a shout there.
Yeah, and he'll have to have it, like, he'll have to have an exceptionally good day. So he needs, like, all of the other horses to run 10 or 15 pound below their best ever effort, and then he needs to run 10 or 15 pound above off like his best ever effort.
Yeah.
So, that's really essentially he shouldn't be in the race. Would be the no, that's probably a dodgy thing to say because you go and win the race now. But on official ratings, you know, like the handicapper, who we've explained before, it's his job to go out and give these ratings to the horses. He shouldn't be like, you know, he shouldn't be in this race basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking that way. Right. Goals have kind of slowed down a bit again now.
Yeah, I was looking at that here. Like, my both teams to score ACA, like the cash out in it is only £1, but I actually don't think it's that bad in terms of there's 2-0 nils, but the other games like have the goals in them. So like I think a couple of quick goals either towards the end of the first half here or early in the second half, you could probably get a bit of life out of that. You know, it's not.
Oh, definitely. There's plenty of time left there. It's like, you know, if you get them, if you're halfway there within 60 minutes, you're flying. You know. Are we going to? Are our viewers going to get commentary on this this Doncaster race?
They have to, yeah, sure. With Summergand in there.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'll just get it put up here now so I can match it. I actually wouldn't put you off a bet of Chief for Chiefs here either. He's a decent horse, and he has Jamie Spencer aboard. So like Jamie Spencer is kind of renowned for holding up horses and coming late, and that's really the way Chief of Chiefs needs to be ridden. So again, he's probably about 10 to 1. So he's not the worst bet in the world.
No.
But I'm sticking with my own mate Summergand anyway. Yeah, so they're actually nearly off here now. They're the last one or two are just going into the stalls. And they're off there. So yeah, Chief of Chiefs held up. Looks like it's Emirati Anna making the running. Your mate Excelsior or whatever is
Extraordinaire.
He's prominent. It's coming under a bit of pressure already, I think so. It's given they're giving Summergand and like Brando, the favourites, Mr. Lupton, Chief of Chiefs. They've all got a bit to do, like, you know, they're kind of giving the field a good 6-7 lengths. Per Kieran Fallon is working away there. There's still 2.5 furlongs to go. Summergand's going to need a bit of luck now. He's gone for the run down the rail, so he needs the gaps to open up. He needs to pick up now as well. Emiratiana is doing well there. It looks like Royal Commando is going to win it. I'm flashing home late, but he's just given way too much to do. Royal Commando won it well. Emiratiana ran really well, but it was a disappointing ride now from David Nolan on Summergand. I thought it was a bit strange. He went for the kind of a lucky run down the inside, and like all of the kind of the market players there that towards the top of the market, they seem to give them quite an easy lead on front, and then like couldn't rail them in. So
Yeah.
I'd say a couple of jockeys they want to ride that again. But Royal Commando about 10-1 won that. Did you have a betting race?
No, left it off. I think I didn't. That extraordinaire caught my attention. I didn't really look at anything beyond that. I mean, not in a chance of betting it, but just kind of looking into it. Really, what was going on. No. Looking at the next couple of races, they're all probably best to be left. I'd say. That's one at Kempton. You were looking at Kempton earlier.
I'd say our last race of the day should be just the big one, the Dubai World Cup.
Yeah.
So just on my the fivefold, the win fivefold that we called out before.
Yeah.
So like Hull, Blackpool, Portsmouth, Cambridge, and Tranmere. So 4 of the teams are leading, and one of them has been paid out already because they're 2-0 up. So John Betry sees 5.
Yeah.
If they go 2-0 up, you get paid out. So basically, I need Blackpool to turn around against Plymouth, and everything else to stay the same to win it. So, I call Cambridge out of being 23-10 away to Carlisle. They're 1-0 up. So I just they could obviously still lose, but I for the life of me can't understand why there was such a big price.
Yeah. It's not bad. The other one is still live, really. Like, it's not a huge amount going on, but it's 2 or 3 goals would change the whole view of that one. The SerieA one is 6 minutes of at a time being played here in the Catania game. I think that one is as good as dead.
Wrote that off, so
yeah, move on from there. I will be looking at
the over 1.5s isn't too bad. There's 2 0-0s there now. But,
yeah.
Like again, early goals in those games. There's a load of them set up then, like, and two of them are in already. So 2 of the legs. What are you going to back in the Dubai World Cup? Are you sticking with Mogul, or are you going to go something else?
No, I only put Mogul in because he had the winner in the first. I'm kind of on the fence a bit here. Let me just go into it. Let me double check to see if the odds have moved at all since we were looking. More or less the same. Yeah, it's a strange kind of market, isn't it? You got those 3 at the top, and then the prices just kind of explode. Strange to see Frankie Dettori on a 70-1 shot here.
So where is this race? Right. So if Mogul wins, we're into profit for the day. If he loses, we're a little bit down, but still have the football bets.
You're going to stick, the football bets are. So you're going to stick with Mogul. You're not going to double up or look at anywhere else, no.
No, just Mogul now. Yeah, like I mean, Mishrif probably has a decent chance as well. Like definitely does have a decent chance. And he won in Saudi there last time, the richest race in the world. He won last time out, so wouldn't discount him. And then Walton Street for William Buick and Charlie Appleby is going to be prime for this as well. So they kind of be their dangers, but I'm gonna pick up Mogul on this one.
You wouldn't rate any of the outsiders here at all?
Like Dubai Future, maybe he's like 40-1, but it'd be a very, very small stake, and even at that, it's.
That's actually the one I said to you. I'm surprised to see a Dettori road horse that side of the market, or that far down the market.
Yeah, it's not often you see him on a 40-1 shot. Trying to go and look at the stats here in the Blackpool Plymouth game, because it said that game, like, I know we've said it before about possession not winning games, but like, Blackpool 60% of the possession can dwindle down at half time, You might be able to take one more race in here now. Well, I know we said we probably would wait for the Dubai World Cup, but when there's kind of a lull in the football with half time as well, we can see what the next race is.
Yeah.
Probably KEMPTON. Yeah, there's a race off in a minute at KEMPTON, so have a quick look at that and see.
So is that the one where there's like a horse? Is it like Broxy or something like that? Big long odds one.
Broxy, yeah, 50-1, yeah.
Just changed trainer there. Kind of always feel like giving them a little shot when they've been changed. But
I'm gonna go for the top of the market here. Actually, no. There's a horse here that I backed last year a good bit. Thunder of Niagara.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Ran out Royal Ascot. So I'm gonna have to go off that. Needs to improve, but I take him with that run at Royal Ascot last year. So gonna go with her. We're trying to get the race up now. We must actually get to KEMPTON when it opens back up. Remember, we went there to see Jupiter one.
Yeah, it's such a handy place to get to. Such a good day out kind of vibe off the place.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how handy it was to get there, just like down the train, like drop you right outside. So I'll definitely be doing it on Wednesday nights now when we're allowed to do some stuff.
Yeah. Be nice to get when the summers are back with actual, attendance is allowed, get another kind of Jupiter type adventure up and running.
Oh, exactly, yeah. I'm very much in the market for another horse for my stable, so
if anyone's listening and they've got a couple available to you.
Exactly, sign it up.
Let you know.
This race is off there now. So I said the likely result here is that Tall Lead, who I was going to back at 2-1, is probably going to win now, but changing my mind to Thunder of Niagara. Nobody wants to go forward here, so looks to be a fairly slow pace. 27 furlongs though, so this will be over
in no time.
Yeah, in no time, yeah. Where about watching the National Hunt and 3 mile chases?
I was going to say 3 miles. You just watch it, go out, put the kettle on, come back in, and there's still plenty to go.
Yeah.
This one here, you just get the time slightly wrong and you've missed it.
Thunder Niagara, your mate Broxy's getting pushed along a little bit there now. He's come back on the bridle nicely. He got bumped around for a minute or two and then come back. There's another bit of pressure now. Coming to the split away, 2 furlongs to go. Thunder Niagara trying to come up the inside. Going well. Go on, Niagara. Go on, Niagara. Go on. Oh, he's not going to up, is he? The Fave is flying down the outside as well.
Yeah. Geez, around 2 furlongs out, Broxy looked like he was actually going to hang on there for a little while, but no.
Nuntorpe is going to win it. That was a 25-1 shot.
Yeah.
a good run out of Thunder and Niagara now. I'm glad I wasn't on the fave because you would have got no one for money, but
You'd have been unhappy with that.
that horse won well. Thunder and Niagara might be one to keep an eye on when it goes back on Perf. That's like an improving performance for me, even though I think it ended up finishing third in the end, but still a decent performance.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Got a good ride as well, like, you know, kind of. I like when they use that KEMPTON as a cut-off. I like when they use that cut-off and come up the inside. But he just didn't really stay on. In the last furlong, I need to go back slightly on trip. Travelled very well though.
Do you know, I think I'm going to take a punt on this, the Tory horse in the World Cup, in the Dubai World Cup.
Dubai Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, like many places are they paying 3 places?
Some of them with specials. I think. Let me check what the exchange are doing. Yeah, I think they are. They are, yeah, because the specials are 2 and 4, or the alternatives, sorry, are 2 and 4. Each way is 3 places. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like not the worst bet in the world. You do. I think he probably needs 1 or 2 at the top of the market to like underperform, but
I mean, for a 48 to 1
yeah,
bet, you have to accept that certain things have to go your way. What is he on bit? 365. You're sticking with Mogul anyway.
Yeah, all in on Mogul. I'd say that forecast that KEMPTON pays nice 50 or 14 to 1 was the SP and 13 to 2, but that Nunthorpe Bay was back from like 25s into 14s, so someone obviously fancied it.
Yeah. I'm just going to get this on the screen now for anyone watching.
I think the football should be kicking back off now. So best case scenario for me is that Blackpool get an early goal in the second half, and it opens up that win accumulator. So those 60 to 1 be nice to get in.
That was 60s, was it? Very nice. Very nice. So if anyone is just tuned in now, I see we've got a couple of people watching us on YouTube, and we still have our viewers on Facebook as well. So if you are watching and you've got a bet in this upcoming race, let us know. Gary's been plugging Mogul all day. I'm taking a bit of a flyer on Dubai Future. Got him at 46 or 48 to 1 each way on the Betfair exchange. But plenty of, obviously, you know, more favoured horses in that race. If you came to the market now, Gary, and you hadn't backed Mogul, would you still be leaning that way?
Yeah, Mogul or Mishriff, I think, are solid bet. I don't know too much about the Japanese horse at the top of the market. Like I've obviously read through his form, but I haven't watched many of the races that he's in or that he's been running in. So yeah, I think Mishriff or Mogul for me. As I said, the Walton Street should run well. Like it's in Dubai, so you expect the Sheikh Mohammed horses to be fully primed for this to try and win back his money. Like, but yeah, I'm happy with Mogul. I think he represents the best form in the race.
Yeah.
Bad ride at Keeneland in the Breeders' Cup, but his runs either side of that, at Chatin and Longchamp were very good. So particularly Longchamp victory. So if you can replicate that, I think he'll be in the shout here.
Nice. Longshamp's another place that I'd like to get back to as soon as we're permitted.
Definitely. Hopefully it'll be this year as well, like, you know, because October gives you a chance.
Yeah, the old immune system boosting summer comes along and gets everybody.
And I guess there's a few more vaccinations.
I should better look into the tickets, because we had tickets for that last year and they never got refunded, so there must be something going on. I get all the emails from France Gallop or whatever it's called.
Yeah, they're all in French.
Yeah, see, they come in French. I just straight away just get rid of them. I'm not going to bother trying to translate them. To the shock of my secondary school French teacher, I'm sure, but not gonna. Yeah, be good to get back. What have we got now? 5 minutes left. Looking forward to this now. Oh, I'm going to step away for 1 second, Gary. Grab a drink. So,
I'm gonna do a little bit of around the house here and see if there's anything happening in the football. Doesn't seem to have been any early goals. So for anybody just tuning in, my main bet that's going at the minute is a fivefold. So it's a win fivefold. I have Hull to beat Gillingham. Hull are 1-0 up. Blackpool to beat Plymouth, but Plymouth are 1-0 up there. So Blackpool losing, which is just let me down. Portsmouth to beat Shrewsbury, but Portsmouth are 2-0 up. And on Bet365 you get paid out for that, so that's banked even if they end up not winning. Cambridge away to Carlisle, Cambridge are winning, and then Tranmere to beat Mansfield, and Tranmere are winning. So now they've been talking through that, Blackpool have equalised. So 2 minutes into the second half, Blackpool have equalised. So essentially, a Blackpool goal away, all things being equal, from a 60-1 ACA there. So fingers crossed for that. Of our other bets, we have an 18-1 over 1.5 goals ACA. There's a couple of 0-0s in there, so there's 3 0-0s in there dragging it down. But the rest of them are doing fairly well. So if we can get a bit of a goal-orama for the start of the second half, that could come back into play as well. So not out of contention by any means. There's also both teams to score ACA that we have going, but again, there's 2 0-0s in there, so kind of asking a lot there. But Joe, you're never out of it. I think we mentioned earlier on, you're never out of it when you bet on goals. So that's good. Albeit, I don't know whether you missed it or not, or you heard or not, but Blackpool equalised.
Oh, lovely.
That 60-1 now is just, it's waiting on a Blackpool winner, and obviously, Joe, the other teams need to hold out as well.
Must have equalised just after half time, did they?
Yeah, I think it was like the 47th minute or something like that.
Nice, ideal.
Yeah, that, I think we called that half time. That's exactly what we needed. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. I said, like, the cash out there is up to 80 quid already. So,
yeah. And did you do Bet365? Did I hear you say that earlier?
Bet365.
So that Portsmouth one is already banked. That's unreal.
Yeah.
It's probably the best feature of any of the bookies, really. Is if you're into football bets, that Bet365 one is great for that.
Yeah, because you can actually go without it as well, and you get an enhanced odds. But like, yeah, it is a good insurance policy to have in there. So I normally just leave it there.
They have it in the NFL. I remember talking about that last season. But in the football, right, like association football, you click in, and it's the primary one. So like, it's the main one. If you just pick the odds, it'll give you the benefit. It'll give you the special, but not the better odds. But you could change it to the better odds. But sometimes in the NFL market, you go in, it won't preload it, but you can go in and change it to get a team. I think if they go up by like 16 points or something like that, you get the win. So obviously, maybe it's changes game to game now. That it might not be as smooth as 2 goals in soccer, but it's an interesting one.
The Sheema Classic. So. Yeah, so we probably won't get to see the Boyle World Cup. We might be offline by the time that comes around. But Magni Core would be the one I'd be back in that. So it's a William Buick is riding for Andre Farb, and I think he has a great chance. So my one, if we are offline,
what time is that race, Gary?
4:50 our time.
Okay.
So There looks to have been a good bit of money for Mogul now in the Sheema. So he's in the 38.5 now. So what odds did we put Mogul up at? He's probably 72. Was he 72 or something like that?
I'll get up on the screen now, so there's no disputing it. 72, yeah, it's a big old jump.
So
or drop, the opposite of a jump. Yeah, I mean all of the ones. I'm sorry, 3-1. Sorry, 3-1 was Mogul. 7-2, Al Sahel.
All right, 3-1. But still, like 3-1 into 38, you know.
Yeah, and that's the end of the market where it needs an awful lot of money to move it, you know. So very nice.
The boy futures on the drift, though, he's out to 50-1.
I saw that, yeah. Some of his exchange, each way on the exchange, he's actually tightened. Would you believe that? But lack of liquidity there, it's not a great exchange market, really. The each way one.
Yeah, so I'm surprised that Mischief has drifted so much. Like he's 9-2 is actually becoming a big price. If you touch 5-1, I'd actually be interested in having a cover bet off him. But so it's surprising. There's also money coming for that Walton Street that we mentioned of William Buick and Charlie Appleby. So it's an interesting betting market anyway. Like, you know, there seems to be a few punts around the place.
Yeah. Sometimes if you're having a hungover day, I like to watch those markets, even if you're not betting on some of the races, and just see how they all carry on. You know, especially ones where there's no outright fave early. You know, because those ones that get very predictable. But one like this now is interesting to see it.
I might turn on the commentary here. Is there commentary?
Oh, there should be. They had it for the earlier ones. Which one are you on? Betfair?
I'm on William Hill. Might try and get the viewers a bit of commentary. I doubt whoever has the rights is going to be watching through our stream to see.
Yeah, if you're stuck and you can't. That's another thing, Gary. I know you've just said it there. So anyone who's watching, if there's something you think the show would be better off if we included it, just let us know in the comments. You know, we're evolving the show week to week, and especially on some of the things like this, the Dubai World Cup, that we don't obviously cover them every week. They're a little bit more infrequent. Let us know what you'd love to see or what you'd love to hear, and we'll do our best to incorporate feedback. So my stream actually has no audio for this one at the minute, Gary. Maybe it's just too early.
Yeah, I think they're going into the stalls now.
Yeah, so let me refresh. Oh, I've got it now. $5 million, huh? Are you going to give us audio, or will I sort my own?
No, I can turn this on. So if NAVAN jump first, we'll be able to get the call in Ireland and then join them at MEYDAN. And they are often racing at MEYDAN. They're often racing at NAVAN, so we'll go to NAVAN first. Oh, they're William Hill are doing NAVAN's commentary first, so.
Oh God,
forget
it. Gary's commentary. So.
Yeah. So Mogul is being held up out the back, so he's going to need a little bit of luck, I would say. I was hoping he would be ridden a little bit closer to the pace, if I'm being totally honest. But it's kind of the two outsiders, 25-1 and 50-1 shots that are leading. I'm trying to see what colour your hat is on Dubai Future. You're a white hat.
White hat.
You're in last. Frankie's going to come with blaze the trail at the finish.
Hopefully.
Walton Street is in a nice position there now. If you were on him, you'd be fairly happy. He's getting a nice toe into the race.
Walton Street, the blue cap, is he?
Walton Street, the blue cap, yeah.
Yeah, it looks nice there.
So, yeah, like Mogul has got a bit closer now, so I'm happier with his position there than I was at the start. He was kind of a bit too far back from my liking. Being honest, especially because a couple of these are pretty good closers. So
it's a big gap, all right. It's starting to spread out a bit, isn't it? Even though they're all connected, certainly my guy is too far away now.
Yeah, no, like I mean, I think the top will fade away anyway. They're kind of the rags of the race, so they should follow right. They're close enough to be picked up. Like, you just don't want someone being overconfident. Walton Street is going really well there around the outside. Some move by William Buick. Mogul's going to need a bit of luck. He doesn't want to be boxed in by those horses coming back on him, and he kind of slightly got impeded there. But he's out in the clear now, able to chase. He's probably not going to get there now. Walton Street, Mischief down the outside. There's going to be some finish. Walton Street all out. Mischief. Is that coming through the center? The Japanese horse and Love Only You. Mischief is going to go up, is he?
I think so. The near side.
Mischief wins. Disappointing by Mogul. But
yeah, only just stayed ahead of the 60-1 Dubai Future. Finished well, but never was going to catch any of those three really to get a place.
Yeah, I'm actually sick. I didn't do my cover bet now after saying you hit 5-1. You do it, like, you know.
Yeah.
But like, that's amazing, like, you know. This horse has won. Geez, he must have won probably $15 million in the past, like, kind of 6 weeks or so.
That's $5.5 million for that one there alone, so it's huge.
Yeah. Mogul was disappointing. He probably wasn't fully fit, and he didn't get the greatest ride in the world. But geez, David Egan, like David Egan's only, I'd say he's 21 or so, the jockey of Mischief. So he's building a nice profile there. Actually won it well in the end. You got fifth, but I doubt anybody was paying down that low.
No, I didn't actually see higher than 3 anywhere. Even Bet365 would usually give you the token extra place.
That was disappointing. So all onto Magni Core in the last. It's going to be my last race and bet of the day. It was Magni Core and the big one. So they're doing 5 places on Bet365, which is, I think, is very good there. I'd say 5th of the odds now, but Magni Core is 11-1, 5 places.
Why you fancy this one? What's the thinking?
Well, I mean, it's won its last 3 races. Now some of them have been on the all-weather, but that normally transfers well to the dirt. The trainer wouldn't be sending him if he didn't have a chance, didn't think he had a chance, and he has William Buick aboard, so that's really it. Jesus' team, or Jesus's team, has been the one that's been talked about for a long time for this race, but he's only 5-1, so I'm happy enough to take the 11-1, especially with 5 places about Magni Core. And with the 5 places, like, you know, the likes of the Great Collection, Capizano, and Gifts of Gold, at, you know, 33s, 40s, and 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's probably stick a pin in it and go with one of them, but like, if they're ridden patiently, they could definitely run into 5th place, like, you know, that way. So like, you need a bit of luck on your side, but they're definitely not like, they're not no hopers. And
which were the 3? Gifts of Gold, the Great Collection, and
Capizano. Like,
Capizano.
Like, it's not any of those down the bottom. Like, they're not no hopers.
Would you have any thoughts on the American one at the top of the market there, or just would you know enough about it?
The Jesus' team.
No, is it Mystic Guide? Is that the American as well?
He is, yeah.
His favorite.
Yeah, like, I mean, so the thing about the Americans is they run on dirt all the time. So, like, the European horses there's no real dirt track in Europe. So, but in America, they're running dirt races all the time. So they kind of have the advantage. And then those 2 horses, Hayes' team and Mystic Guy, they've been winning the Group 1 races in America. So they probably do set the standard. So I wouldn't put you off having a bet off them, if you know what I mean. But for me,
Yeah.
just having a value bet off Magni Core and hope he runs into a place and gives me a shout. But I don't want to go through this race in too much detail. I kind of spent all my time going through subjectiveness in the first and then neglected some of the other races. But
how's the football looking? Still hasn't been a huge amount of goals in the second half.
no, I'm still waiting on a Blackpool goal. And as Shrewsbury had come back to 2-1. So it didn't have that kind of Bet365 insurance. You're kind of thinking, you don't want the one that was 2-0 up to let you down, that way.
Yeah.
So, glad I have that. I haven't really seen many other goals around. Like all the other goals are in matches like the Peterborough and Stanley game where Peterborough got gone 4-0 up, but they're like,
I've got both teams to score in that as well. Sickening.
Yeah, so have I, yeah. But I'm being killed with there's 2-0 nils. And then the over 1.5 is being killed by 0-0s as well. So there's a good few of them that are banked, but still waiting on one. So there's still 3-0 nils hitting the kind of hour mark. It's asking for a lot. So
Yeah.
So I might do another. Sometimes I like to wait to get the 70 minutes or so, and then when matches that are draws, just kind of do a few. I think you get decent prices towards the end of games, if you do a few trebles or whatever, and get some late goals to have them click.
Yeah, anyone who watches the usual Friday show sees that we're pretty not successful, or we're successful is probably the word when it comes to those in play kind of acas and late on games. You kind of get a read of the game, see what's happening, and you think, right, another goal here or there is. So we do quite well on those usually.
There's a suspension in the Blackpool game, and it suspended. Well, there was a dangerous attack for Blackpool, so I'm hoping there's going to be a goal flash up for Blackpool now. That set me up nice, getting the ref to blow it up in the other 5 matches. The other 4.
Penalty.
Is it penalty?
Yep. So it must be the Blackpool. They're even in the suspended prices, they're still favourites.
Yeah, because so my cash out has gone up to 163 quid.
So yeah,
our record of penalties on this stream isn't great though. So.
Yeah, I think we must be 75% at least now at this stage. Yeah, missed penalties.
So hopefully we can change that.
Yeah.
Not goal, sweet.
Lovely. Penalty scored, Yates. So all 4 of them are winning now. You'd be expecting a fairly juicy cash out at that stage.
So 195 is the cash out. The payout, payout is 743. So £12.50 on as the stake.
So you get a third. That's a bit miserly, really.
Yeah, so it includes a bonus. So the bonus is £7 quid. You only get that if you don't cash out.
Yeah.
So, but one of the games locked there. There's only 4 of them that can go against me, that way. So fingers crossed now.
Looking at it though, a lot of 1-0, 3-1 nils though. They all feel very vulnerable.
Yeah, no, it is a vulnerable bet, as you said. It's definitely not safe by any means, but happy enough to be knocking on the door.
Yeah.
As we called it, a postcode lottery.
I had no idea what you were talking about when you said that. It's I actually thought you were getting so desperate that you'd entered it. The postcode lottery.
Yeah. So if anybody watching in, if you do hear me ever referring to a bet as a postcode lottery, it means I'm knocking on the door. So somebody's knocking at the door. Somebody's ringing the bell.
Oh God. You can book Gary for private gigs if you need him.
Yeah. I like to do a bit of karaoke in my spare time.
Always available.
Put the crows out of business, as they say.
Like that's the funny one. This like they're all. I'm just looking through the stats. I haven't been watching any of those games, to be honest. Carlisle, Cambridge, Hull, or Tranmere, but like they all look fairly comfortable. You know, all your leading teams.
Now, Liam, you absolutely mugged about it mine last week by saying when the over 2.5 that like
Easy.
40 minutes in, 2 goals in the game, you're like, oh, sure, that's in.
Yeah, that was the Verona game, was it?
Atalanta, wasn't it? Atalanta Verona.
And the funny thing was when you put that bet, when I didn't realize it was you put the bet into the syndicate in work. And when I saw it, I was actually going to text into the group and say, that's banana skin. Like Verona they're a stingy team. And then they went 2-0 down so fast, I was like, oh, easy, you got it. I was like, thank God I didn't say anything about that. And then the third goal got disallowed. I was like, oh, Christ. When the third goal got disallowed, I knew we were in trouble.
Yeah. Man, look, I'm cheering on goals everywhere but the 4 games that I'm like need, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, do you know what? Nothing is jumping out at me in the 450 here at all. Nothing at all. So I think I'm just gonna
watch it for sport.
Yeah, I might throw a small little bet on one of the huge odds one, see who's big when it gets closer to the off, but nothing else jumping out at me. You're not going to be tempted. Sorry, go on.
So I think there's a race going to be starting just at Kempton, so might have another bet off that.
Which one is the Kempton one? It's a big old field there. That's nice.
Yeah, 4:30 at Kempton. So I'm gonna have a look through that now and pick one out.
I might trail you, as our friend Slats' new phrase is, his American influenced phrase. I haven't looked at that at all myself.
It's one being backed anyway. Casual reply for our friend Danny Muscat. He's 12 into 7s. Oh God, there's been a goal against me in one of these games.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Which one?
Gillingham scored against Hull.
Do you know what? Of all the teams that you would have, like, if you were relying on one to pull it out at the end, I'd probably be hoping it was Hull. Do you know?
Yeah, like a home team up near top of the league, like so.
So yeah, that's not too bad.
Kind of not much prefer, but like I'm all right with not having the bet up. Joe, like it was a bit too early to be sitting on it. Do you know that way?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like the you know, if Tranmere got pegged back here, you'd probably be thinking, oh no, you know, it's looking rough. Even where was the other one?
Like if you're away from home, conceding, like, you know.
Yeah, no, I'll be fairly confident that one could come back for you now, so not too bad. Where are we looking here? The 4:30 in Kempton. Actually, I won't back it now because I won't, but nice for Danny to get a winner here today.
Yeah, I've actually backed him there now. So.
Oh yeah, 12 9s, 17 to 2, 8 to 1, 7 to 1. Yeah, that's pretty consistent. Just money all day, like. The horse here, Songo, just reminded me. Do you remember Sonogo? Remember that player? Yeah, Sonogo.
Yeah. So I looked down there because there's the 4:25 at Wolverhampton, and I was like, this race is off already, but I'm looking at KEMPTON.
Fascinating.
He's 5-0 to Peterborough there in second standing.
Of all the ones, see Portsmouth have a man sent off. But you got that banked, is that what you said?
Yeah, that's banked, yeah, so it doesn't matter. Could be the sweetest of victories if Joe Hull do get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I think all the other bets are probably gone now at this stage. The over 1.5s and the both teams to scores. There's just too many 0-0s dragging them down, which is disappointing.
Promising. Yeah.
Although, as I say that, Southend have just scored against Harrogate, so in the over 1.5s, there's only 2 0-0s now. There was 3 0-0, so a couple of goals and it could get back into contention. Although it's slim hope, Joe.
Yeah, I don't know though. Like, I mean, if you need 1 or 2 goals, I think it's okay. You know, if you're looking for kind of 2 or 3 in a game, then it's a little bit different.
I actually can't get that. Somebody's knocking at the door out of my head now. So
yeah.
Have you picked out anything later on in the internationals, or are you just gonna leave well enough alone?
Oh, I think international football is probably my closest to my Spanish football in terms of losing, if not 100% of the bets, very, very close to it. So you always get tempted by goals, you know, and then you just can never pan out. I think the form is very hard to read as well. So
yeah, it is, because there's so long between games, and it's.
But you know what we're talking about here now, like you sort of said, like obviously anyone in Ireland would know, new manager in, trying to play a new style of football, a bit more expansive. You'd be a bit more, if you look at the stats for Ireland over the last 3 or 4 years, it would have no real bearing on the way they're playing now. Where if you get, you could have something like that going on in Serbia or Montenegro or Hungary that we might not be aware of, and you just, you're kind of. A few mug bets, like you said, a load of goals, a couple of accies like that are all right, but I've nothing serious on them. What about you?
No, I might do like a same game multi or something like that in the Ireland game to keep me entertained while I'm watching it, but outside of that, nothing.
Actually, backed your Dusan Tadic to have shots. I think he did everything in the game except have shots the last day.
I actually need to stop backing him, because I've actually backed him for Ajax as well a couple of times in like the Champions League and things, and he keeps he gets into positions where he can take a shot, and he either does a dummy or like some kind of intricate pass or whatever. You're just like, you on goal, and they're kind of opportunities where that if he takes any sort of shot, it's most likely hitting the target. It's not like he has to curl around men or
I wish that market existed. I'm absolutely positive that it's priced up based on goals or expected goals and not really based on player behavior. And I wish that back when Walcott played for Arsenal that it was an available market, because he never really scored other than a few, purple patches. But he would run the ball into the keeper quite a few times, Should be getting good odds on him to have his shots on target. And I think he'd be getting a lot of what would technically be called shots, even if they were never really, shots in that sense. Yeah, exactly. So Yeah.
But
It'd be
like,
interesting.
to keep an eye on. But it's interesting that like, only William Hill and Betfair, Paddy Power seem to be offering the market. Like,
But
like Bet365 don't offer it.
But Bet365 did briefly on a couple of games, especially if you did same game multis, it would be there. And then they just, I don't know, did they not get the liquidity that they wanted, or there wasn't the spread across the market that they hoped for? They just gave up on it. It was a bit short-lived, I suppose. But
yeah, because I know they were stopping. I'm not too sure whether William Hill did it or not, but Bet365, when they had it up there, they used to stop you from doing cross-game ACCAs. So you couldn't have, like, I don't know, Lukaku in one game and someone else in the other, like, I don't know what the story. Oh, this is only. So I've been waiting for the race to come up here at Kempton, but I didn't realize that they're only doing commentary from Kempton. So the race is actually over now. I have no idea who won, so I'm gonna go ahead and check.
I was watching it actually. I didn't want to say it, and I thought you were a bit behind. I didn't want to ruin your fun.
No, Adventurer one.
Yeah. So
like, just looking at it, going, why isn't this coming up? Because I had like 4:30 from Kempton, and I just realized that it said live commentary instead of like live video. So that was a bit of a bummer.
You're just like, oh, the race is on. Oh no, your bet didn't come in. Just the double. It's like when you do the overnight bets on, NBA or something like that, and you wake up and you check your balance. You're like, oh great, and then you're just like, oh no, never happened.
Yeah.
No increase in
the over 1.5 is creeping slightly back into contention. So there's still 1-0, but it's like the rest of them all have a goal. So 5 minutes ago there was 3-0 in it. So if there can be a game in that AFC or goal in that AFC Wimbledon game, it might give a slight. It's still a very long shot, but it might give a slight bit of a cheer.
Mine is as good as dead because I've got the Doncaster MK Don's Doncaster game on for 2.5 and it's 0-0 right with 15 minutes to go. So
it's on 1-0.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, MK Don's went 1-0 up.
Oh, it didn't show up on my bet slip there, but still needs 2 goals. So I need 1 goal I've got Harrogate South End over 1.5. It's 1-0. I've got over 2.5 in the whole game, so that's obviously 1-1. Over 2.5 in the Dons game, that's 1-0. So they're there. I need Accrington to get 1 back against Peterborough, which is looking. It's only a goal, but it's a pretty unlikely one. Both teams to score in the Mansfield game, which actually will clash with your Tranmere bet, and over 1.5 in the Stevenage game. And then I've got 5 legs that are already in. Sorry, 4 legs that are already in. So it's 1 game where I need 2 goals, and then the kind of highly unlikely Accrington to pull 1 back.
Well,
but otherwise it's within reach.
Mansfield goal anyway.
Say that again.
So there's your Mansfield goal anyway. So my ACCA has taken a turn for the worst. Back to needing 2 goals now.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So my other one, that one should be looking reasonable. Yeah. It's kind of still suspended there. It's another leg in, yeah. So just 1 goal, 2 goals, 1 goal, and 1 goal.
So still 2 goals, which isn't bad, but
in your bet, 2 goals in your bet, and actually that would actually be fine with mine again. So I got the both teams to score. So sorry, that not available. That's gone. Yeah, so I have 2 games where I need 1, 2, 3 games where I need 1 goal, and 1 game where I need 2 goals. It's not bad. 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, like as you said, a little bit of a long shot, but still in contention with a few minutes to go. Getting value for money out of it. I said the AFC Wimbledon game is killing me, like, because otherwise this would be on. If there was a goal in that, this would be live, like.
Yeah. So that's the only 0-0 in your 1.5s, right?
Yeah, I probably still need about 6 goals, including that game to win this, but it would give an interest, like it would give an interest for the last 10 minutes, I know.
Yeah. Just looking now. So there's not really any race that you're going to be looking at between now and the.
Oh, just the Dubai World Cup. That'll do it.
Yeah.
So I think that'll coincide nicely. Like there's
Yeah,
12 minutes left here, and there's 12 minutes till the race. So hopefully, it'll coincide nicely.
I am looking at. Yeah.
Oh God, this whole bet is turned against me now. So Carlisle have equalised against Cambridge. Now I need 3 goals.
Completely gone.
Yeah.
Is that Carlisle one in my other bet?
200 quid.
Suspended in the Peterborough game. Please go 5-1. And suspended in the Stevenage game as well. Goal. 6-0. Oh God.
Can't catch a break.
Nah, just not at all. If this all comes in except for that one and it's 6-0 instead of anything to 1, I'd be so sick.
Yeah, there's nothing worse. Like.
Yeah, Stevenage Barrow's in, so that's. I need Accrington to pull one back. 2 goals in the Doncaster game, which is looking pretty unlikely. A goal in the Hull game, and a goal or in the South End game. So I think I missed one of them earlier on, so I'm still 4 goals here.
The AFC Wimbledon Northampton game is the only game without a goal. Like it's the only 0-0. Oh no, actually, sorry, no, Wigan Ipswich. I missed that one.
I mean, 3 goals left. Like none of your teams are losing, right? So Portsmouth is banked, and then that's probably dodgy.
Exactly, I still need 3 goals, but it's just like a long shot now, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. If you needed 5 goals and then it was 4 and then it was 3, you'd be starting to feel optimistic. But needing no goals and then 1 and then 2 and then 3, things are going the wrong way. Right.
But as I said, where there's time, there's hope, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's slow down the goal for that mini glut of goals, and all the goals went against me. Like so, I do it another little bit of a glut.
Yeah. I'm just reading through some of the ones here. This Adjust Fiscal in I think it's a Uruguayan horse. It's not a country you'd ever really associate with racing. Certainly I wouldn't have had in the past.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, like, John, they do get quite a mix at this. Like, it's kind of like a world championship, you know, that way.
Yeah.
But the American horses probably have the advantage here. But they're well found at the top of the market as well, Joe.
Yeah, no surprises there.
Come on, get a few goals. Either Cambridge, Tranmere, or Hull. It's actually, John, with Blackpool turning it around as well. Joe was cursing them earlier, and then
yeah, so typical. Yeah, I've often wondered with ACCAs, like if you always cashed out when you got up a certain percentage, if you say quadrupled your stake or something like that, obviously you'd miss the odd one then where it comes in for 500 quid, but you cashed out for 60. But I think overall, when you get your head, when you get your neck up like that, it feels more often than not you end up getting shafted as opposed to hanging on for the win. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like, I mean, for me, Joe, it's not as if I was talking about massive money. It's £12.50. Like, so I don't judge the money until it's in my account. So I wasn't looking at it as being 200 quid. It's still £12.50, so it's grand. But so it's not dead yet. Still 5 minutes left of these games, so anything could happen. So if anybody that's just tuned in, so I've an ACCA going. It was going very well. Basically, everything was winning, but a couple of goals went against me. So I need Hull to score against Gillingham and beat Gillingham. I need Cambridge to score away to Carlisle and obviously end up winning that game. And Tranmere to score at home to Mansfield. So the three of those games are kind of coming into the last 5 or 6 minutes. If they do score all three, I'll win 700 quid off £12.50. So that's the kind of latest state of play. We don't have any other real. Do you have any of your goals bets in play?
It's looking just about achievable. So, sorry, no, if I actually forget it, I keep forgetting about the MK Dons. It's 6 minutes to go. I need 2 goals there. Any goals, but it's over 2.5 in that. I need Accrington to score 1 back. They're 7-0 down now, which is just absolutely devastating. And then a goal in Hull and a goal in the Southend game. Well, that Southend game has just been sitting there suspended with saying no data feed available, but it still looks to be 1-0. So I need 1 goal in there, 2 goals in the Dons game, and Accrington to score. But I don't know what's going on with that match. It's like they're playing against an empty net. It seems here, so I'm gonna leave it. That's it.
The Southend game is still 1-0 anyway. 1-0 Southend.
Yeah, I was going to take a flyer actually on Sleepy Eyes Todd in the World Cup here. He went to back about 40s and then it was went into 30s. I got it at 30s here, so just a punt really on that.
Are you doing it on the exchange or?
Yeah, the exchange. Got it each way in the exchange, but yeah. Go check Bet365 now. They probably have. So once you go to Bet365, they have unbelievably high prices. You get the odd one. They're doing. What are they doing here? They're doing 5 places actually, but he's 20 to 1s there.
The 5 places is good value. See the money for Magni Core.
Yeah, I saw that actually 70-2 on Bet365 there.
Yeah.
So. What did you get it at? 10s or 11s?
11s, yeah.
Nice. 6 to 1 now actually on the.
Yeah, 6 to 1, yeah.
Nice.
So, Sheikh Mohammed obviously has the money down. The guy's not allowed to bet.
Yeah, if he had money, well, he has money. If he had it in a place he could put it down, he'd be putting it down. Sleepy Eyes is drifting like a parrot here, but whatever. Yeah, you're looking pretty. You're sitting pretty there now with that one, Gary.
Well, it's obviously good to be sitting with double the odds that he's got to hopefully go off at or whatever. But I'm sitting pretty with my ACCA as well, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Plus, he still has a lot to do with the fave, to beat him. So. There's been no movement in those games anyway. I don't know what's happening.
No, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
The action often does seem to come in gluts like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, as I said, I'm hoping that it does in a 2-minute glut where just there's goals in those 3 games, but it's looking unlikely now. So where Hull is just going in. There's a goal gone against me there. So
Over.
Just equalised against Hull. Or sorry, against Blackpool. So it's mad actually. If Shrewsbury score, it's going to finish in 5 draws.
They were.
Yeah. That's that bet. Write it off.
They went from really promising to really crap pretty fast, actually.
Yeah.
Right,
just
focus back on
the time that somebody said that like there were certainties after looking at the stats, but
it's certainties. So they were sitting pretty.
It's exactly what you said. Yeah, sitting pretty on these certainties. Same with this now, Magni Core. He's sitting pretty here, guy. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, well, I'm invested now in the Sleepy Eyes barge over here. So, right. You going to give the viewers one last commentary of the day before for this one?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to be able to get the commentary here that we can put up. So, we'll see it. Might save me from having to go through. They'll hear me saying, "Go on if Magni Core is getting into contention anyway." So,
yeah. Still a little bit away anyway, based on the video here. Any other bets for the weekend you got lined up, or anything you're looking at?
No, to be honest, I think that's. I said I might have a same game multi or something like that on the Ireland match later on, but outside of that, probably leave it. I'll have a look through the racing tomorrow as well. But at the minute, I haven't picked anything out. Yeah, they're like just racing at Doncaster tomorrow again. So yeah, I'll probably end up having a few bets there, and then at Nice as well. So there's Irish racing at Nice, but actually the Lodge Parks stakes, which is a good Fillies and Mares Group 3. So if I don't even have a bet, I'll be watching that.
Yeah. We never really spoke about Grangy after last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. It's all becoming a blur at this stage. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I think that she ran a decent race. Like it's promising the way she stayed on. It was just like they went so slow in the race, it just didn't help her. And it's probably the first time ever in a bumper that they've gone like so steady. So that's annoying. And obviously, personally, I thought the jockey should have, like that Danny Mullins probably should have got her closer at the top of the hill, given that they didn't go as fast. But it's easy for me to say that sitting here, riding the race. So, but like I mean, the positive is that you've got a good horse there. She's ran well. Showed staying potential. She'll definitely be better over further. So yeah, I wouldn't have too many negatives. Obviously, outside of the fact that she didn't win or place in the top 4 would have been brilliant. So
yeah, I'll be the same. Like I mean, I wouldn't be as knowledgeable about racing to sort of comment on what the jockey did, although we did see a lot of other people giving out about it, so I'm not sure where I stand on that. But it was promising. Like it was good. You said good. She did stay on well, and that's obviously something you want to see. And like you said, so early into her running career, it's nice to get to that level. Maybe the only negative would be how high I let my expectations get beforehand, but that's on me and nobody else.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to get carried away, like you think, God, Jesus.
But considering my record of watching or being at races that I partly own a horse in is ridiculously good, so I just thought, just so accustomed to winning that it did caught me off guard a bit.
Yeah.
think my bet here is dead. I think the goals one.
Yeah, my football ones are done. It's annoying now. Like they're late here at MEYDAN, so it looks like it's flat with Doncaster, which is annoying.
What do you have your eyes on at Doncaster?
No, it's not. I don't have anything on the Doncaster, but it's just on the stream I'm watching here. They go split screen. So the big race, you want to be able to watch it full screen. Like. Who did you pull you on Sleepy Eyes Todd?
Yeah. What's he drifted to now? He can't be backed on the exchange now. Don't tell me he's been withdrawn.
Like, Mishriff has Frank the Form. Now, Sleepy Eyes Tom was beaten kind of like 12 lengths by Mishriff, but Mishriff's come out and won the Sheema, so
yeah,
but it's a decent little bit of franking of the form. I think still needs to improve, obviously, but like you like the dirt, some of the others mightn't. So Magnolia is in the 4-1 now.
Jeez.
So, like, I mean, again, I'd love a win, but if you can't place after being punted like that, your luck's out. Like,
yeah. That Jesus' team, just a strange one to see written down like a horse name like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cambridge ended up getting a winner anyway, or what looks to be a winner in that game. So it's still, again, the 23-10. Can't believe they were that price. Obviously, my bet hasn't come in, but it's mad that they were that sort of price. These are so late here at MEYDAN. They're going to be 10 minutes late, like it's 5 minutes after post time, and they still haven't got one of the horses into the gates yet, into the stalls.
Yeah.
So, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, bear with us. It's not our delay. We will be kind of wrapping things up after this race. So for anybody who's just joined, I'm on Magnolia at 11-1. So probably an hour ago, Magnolia was 11-1. He's now into the 4-1. And Liam, you're on Todd.
Sleepy Eyes Todd.
Sleepy Eyes Todd. So they're the two we're on. I have to apologise. On YouTube, we had a comment in from Suso in relation to the Doncaster game, and I missed that. So apologies, Suso, if we're still watching. We didn't get to that, and obviously the games are wrapping up now, so it's probably a bit late to comment on. If you did go for it, let me just check the results here and see. Doncaster Rovers. I can't even see the result here.
No, Doncaster was the MK Dons against Doncaster. They were 1-0 well into injury time, so that definitely came in.
Okay, so it came in. So fair play to you.
I just wish Suso had let me know that before I backed over 2.5.
Yeah, it doesn't have a time against the comment, so surprised I missed that. But apologies for that too. So I said hopefully
if you're still around
anyway. So hopefully I had a lot of money on it.
Are you going to watch the boxing tonight, Gary?
I probably won't, but I know that there's a few good offers about. So I might have a bet off it, even though I don't think I'll watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be kind of the same. I wouldn't know enough of these two fighters to be getting heavily involved, but some of the specials are definitely tempting.
Yeah.
This is All right, there we go. There's a good few of them in now, so we're getting close.
Yeah, Doncaster's finished there now, so hopefully this stream will go full screen to the Boy World Cup. As I said, the big one. So for anybody watching in, and if you're watching the Boy World Cup, so Magnolia is in the white hat of the Godolphin blue, just so you can cheer it on. Sleepy Eyes Todd is black with a green star, so keep an eye out for him as well for LB. Any last thoughts on it, LB?
No, I'm all right with who I'm on. See this other horse just heading off down the thing here. What's going on there? Hopefully it's not my. But yeah, no, happy with Sleepy Eyes Todd. Decent price. Obviously, not near the top of the market at all. But
something about it breaking out of the stalls.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think I might be a second ahead of you there. I was just saying that. No, my luck now is probably Sleepy Eyes Todd.
I actually think it could be.
I didn't really react to it. Don't know what's going on there. Do you see a number on it?
9, number 9, I think. So number 9 is Military Law.
Okay. It's all right. And you know what's funny? Actually, when they were coming out, I saw the jockey was up on top of that horse and was actually stroking its hair. It looked really calm. I thought, that's a kind of unusually calm looking horse. But
obviously, I'd say that horse would be withdrawn anyway. Or
it'd have to be. Yeah.
I don't know whether are they taking them all out? Are they? I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
Let me get the audio up here and see what they say.
Yeah, they're definitely taking a few of the runners out anyway. So,
is that just to go and get that other horse back? Do you reckon?
Yeah, they're taking them all out, so they have to go and whether the horse is going to run or not, they don't know, but they have to basically catch the horse obviously first. So it's so the other horses don't get restless in the stall, so they take them back out and they will have to put them back in again.
See this guy here now just strolling after him, trying to catch the horse. Horses having absolutely none of it.
I have them there now. So
yeah, they just get spooked, do they?
Yeah, they kind of they want to go back to the paddock because they'll be getting food and stuff there. So the odd time they'll see that and they'll just want to run towards it and things like that. They a lot of the horses don't like the gates because they kind of get a bit claustrophobic and the gates will be metal, so they don't like the feel of it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Military Law is going to be a non-runner anyway, which is unsurprising.
Yeah. Must be some anticlimax if that's your horse and you own it or training it and you've been putting a lot of time and energy into it and then it just gets a notion like that and takes off. That's your shot at the World Cup. Just gone.
It's like a the money to get them there. It's not easy to get the horses to Dubai, that way. And then it all ends like that. Can't be great.
No. Let's see what the guys are saying here in the commentary. Yeah, they're going back in now, so.
Yeah, if they don't go in fairly soon, we might have to cut the stream without actually seeing it, which would be disappointing.
You have a hard stop, Gary.
Not a hard stop, but obviously we've been on for a significant amount of time. Viewers might be
tiring.
Huh?
Yeah, I was going to say that the few viewers we mostly left on Facebook and YouTube. So if you are sticking around for this, let us know in the comments. I'll stick around to get the race at least. Beyond that, we'll be wrapping up after the World Cup then. They're nearly all back in here now.
Yeah, what's there, 3 to go now to be loaded in? So
Yeah. Todd is coming in, it's a tiny bit on the exchange.
Be nice to end with a winner.
Yeah, 1 win and 1 place. Round it out for the 2 of us, be perfect.
This has been the biggest mission ever, like 13 minutes late on the race.
Yeah. Imagine those crowds there as well. There'd be a lot of tension in the air.
I think there is a crowd there. Like, I mean, I don't think I don't think it's anywhere near what would normally be there, but I think there is some sort of crowd there.
There we go.
Let us know when they come out of the gates for you there, so I know if you're ahead or not. Mine are out of the gates.
Oh no, sorry, I'm definitely ahead. I'm 17 seconds into the race.
All right.
I'll keep quiet about it. You keep our viewers up to speed, and I'll just.
Yeah. So. Yeah, like John, the favourite's actually very close to the pace here. I wasn't expecting him to be that prominent. From Magnolia's perspective, he's in mid division, trying to spot your lads. Can't really see him. I think he's probably third last at the minute. But still 1,400 meters to go. So. There's like a Chua Wizard, I think it is, that's blazing the trail up front, and then you've got
some speed.
The favourite, the Mystic Guide in second. They're all starting to kind of box up a bit now. They're going to be hitting the second last bend, running for home. Magnolia is going all right. Again, I can't really see yours because the kickback of the dirt.
No, he's gone. He's very near the end, very near the back. Is he the one going very wide?
So Magnolia needs to stay on. It looks like the favourite, like Mystic Light, should be the winner here from what I'm seeing anyway. But could do with Magnolia staying on. So still a good few furlongs left to go, and I need 5th place. So yeah, favourite's going to be a good winner. Magnolia closing down. We'll probably get 4th, maybe. Yeah, Magnolia going to get 4th. Might even get 3rd instead on like a train. Yeah,
I think 3rd. Yeah.
So I said happy enough, like, you know, with the plays there, but the fave won it well. With a good no nonsense ride from John up with the pace all the way, kicking off the bend. Yeah, he won well. What's that? 5 lengths he won. But John, the second horse did well as well. You know, he was up there. China Wizard was up there for a long way. So
yeah,
well. So well, nice to end with a return anyway. So I said,
yeah,
the place money, or I got the place money there off Magnolia. So happy with that.
Yeah, I think overall it was not a bad day. A few good wins earlier. The football was a bit of a tease, but
it could have been a lot better with the football. Like, you know, if I had taken the cash out or got a bit more run out of it, but yeah, overall decent afternoon. I think I'm ending the day probably bang on even what I started with. So
can't complain about that.
Not too bad considering I've had about 70 bets. Like, so.
Yeah. So look, thanks everybody for tuning in. We can see that the the audiences are starting to trickle away right after the race. Obviously, that's what you were sticking around for. So, like we said before, let us know by email, socials, whatever you want. If what you want us to cover, we'll take it all on board. We'll be back next week. We'll have our Grand National preview, and we'll be looking at the MLS then in April. So, and then our usual European Football Friday Night Bet-along as well. So, there's plenty of action coming up. But do follow, do subscribe, and like, because the schedule will change a little bit over the next couple of weeks. And like Gary said, there'll be a new site coming out soon. So, keep an eye on socials for that announcement as well. We're very excited to get that one live. So, yeah, it's a good day. And thanks for tuning in, and take care.
Cheers, guys.